Let's talk about the fact that President Trump incited an erection.
His various cases of, he's got charges of inciting an erection.
Donald John Trump incited the erection.
Did anyone get that?
Yeah.
Daryl!
You better move. You're gonna go next.
They changed!
Get out now! Get out! On the ground! All of you on the ground now! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Don't move!
We're environmental protesters! Please!
Stop resisting! Stop resisting!
Please!
From the very beginning, the Second Amendment didn't say you can own any gun you want, as big as you want. You couldn't buy a cannon when, in fact, the Second Amendment passed.
What purpose is to have a gun that a bullet can travel 5 times the speed of an ordinary bullet? Do you realize the bullet out of an AR-15 travels 5 times as rapidly as a bullet shot out of any other gun? My legislation says there can be no more than 8 bullets in a round, okay?
Who in God's name needs a weapon with 100 rounds in a chamber? Made it harder for people to buy stabilized braces. Put a pistol on a brace, it turns into a gun. Makes it more, you can have a higher caliber weapon, a higher caliber bullet coming out of that gun. It's essentially turning it into a short barrel rifle.
9 out of 10 of the biggest contributors to the Democratic Party are Jewish. 2% of the population, 90%. Same thing with the Ivy Leagues. 7 out of 8 of the presidents were Jewish. I don't understand, maybe it's 2 or 3, but 7 out of 8, and they're 2% of the population, and they run the schools. And then when you go to Hollywood, it's 3 of the big talent agencies. It's CAA, and it's William Morris, and it's UTA, all run by Jews. And when you go to the NBA, half the teams and the commissioner, all Jewish. And when you go to the Federal Reserve, the chair for the Federal Reserve for the last 40 years, with the exception of Jerome Powell, all Jewish. Larry Fink at BlackRock, which manages $30 trillion in assets, Jewish. You look at the Biden administration, you look at his cabinet. Almost everyone in that cabinet is either Jewish or married to someone Jewish. All of Joe Biden's kids and grandkids are married to Jews. Donald Trump's kids married to a Jew. Donald Trump delegated, of course, to Jared Kushner. And it goes on and on and on and on and on like this.
Most of us feel discomfort when we think about pedophiles. But just like pedophiles, we are not responsible for our feelings. We do not choose them. But we are responsible for our actions. And we must make a decision. It is in our responsibility to reflect and to overcome our negative feelings about pedophiles and to treat them with the same respect we treat other people with. We should accept that pedophiles are people who have not chosen their sexuality and who, unlike most of us, will never be able to live it out freely if they want to lead an upright life. We should accept that pedophilia is a sexual preference.
Statistics indicate that there will be 1 or 2 of you who are struggling with some form of pedophilic interest. These people can't talk about their feelings because they know that they will be hated for it. I truly do believe that every person is longing for love at some point in their life. And what if this love that you really wish for will forever be impossible? That must be a really lonely situation to be in. yes, from an emotional point of view, I can kind of understand that you would want to eliminate these people from society. However, it doesn't make sense. And that's because we're talking about biology. We're talking about a sexual orientation, something that we simply cannot change. And on top of that, every day new people are born with the same difficulty. So it's not practical to eliminate these people from society. They haven't done anything wrong.
It is possible for an adult and a child to have a sexual relationship and for it to have positive outcomes on the child as well.
We have at some point in our lives been going fucking crazy on some hentai site, and we've been fucking stroking as hard and fast as we can, and then after we nut, we go back, look over our history chat, and we go like, oh jeez. Oh boy. Some of these girls looked pretty young. Okay, I don't give a fuck.
We have a lot, how do I put this? Does anyone else get the feeling that, like, men, at least in the West, are kind of, like, taught to be kind of a little pedophile-y a little bit?
But by and large, statistically speaking, there are 370 people watching right now. I'd be willing to bet that at least 20 or 30 of them experience habitual sexual attraction towards children. It's surprisingly common. To those of you who do to an extent that you feel as though, looked at it, I think the vibe that I got was like short stack, thick kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like the way like goblins get drawn in. You'll have to entertain me for a moment on this presumed shared knowledge of how goblins get drawn and.
I've never referred to him as the raging atheist. I originally noticed him from the one video you did after you had spanked him in the debate, and I've always since then referred to him as the crying atheist. And that guy does more for our side than anything. I mean, even his own crowd knows he's an idiot. But yet he just continues to just go and fight. He continues to say, I'm not going to do any more videos about Matt Powell, but I don't think I've ever watched a video where he doesn't mention Matt Powell.
I'm going to be talking about my new and last vid on Matt Powell here in a moment, Quentin Silver. So, I am an emotional wreck.
He just can't get over the fact that he got just severely spanked in the debate. And I'm sorry, but it was funny. And I really have enjoyed watching some of the footage of the therapy sessions that they've been having. And I haven't watched a lot of his stuff, but that man, I'm surprised the atheist community isn't trying to run him off, and they're not trying to ruin that guy. Because, man, he's the best player on our team, I'm telling you right now. And I would love to watch another debate between him and Matt Powell, because it would be a lot of fun to watch him cry again. He's a guy who's just been completely defeated by creationists. He's been made to look like an idiot multiple times to the point he's been brought to tears. That's why I call him the crying atheist. And so to see this guy continuing to try is funny.
Do you guys remember that time I made Matt?
So where did all this energy in space come from? The answer was found after decades of work by scientists. Space and energy was spontaneously created in an event we now call the Big Bang. At the moment of the Big Bang, an entire universe full of energy came into existence. And with it, space. It all inflated, just like a balloon being blown up. So where did all this energy in space come from? How does an entire universe full of energy, the awesome vastness of space, and everything in it simply appear out of nothing? For some, this is where God comes back into the picture.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brett Keane, and you are watching and listening to the Brett Keane Show. And with us, my co-host, Mr. Lucifer. And for
Ave
those out there
Satanas, Reggae Satanas, Hail Satan, and Ave Thule. Or should I say Ultima Thule?
For those who are asking out there, no, this show is not going to be about pedophilia. Maybe a little bit, not all of it, of course.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we're definitely going to be spanking a crybaby.
So you want to start it off, or show? Should we show off your book real quick before?
Oh, go ahead.
Into that. All right. Where is that particular clip at? Did you put it in?
No, I didn't put it in, so you're going to need to upload it.
I will have to get that going. So tell people about what's going on while I'm getting that set up. What happened with the raging anus is what we'll call him.
Oh, the raging anus. All right. I think we just made Diana choke. Anyways, all right. So, as people know, on my channel the other night, and Brett streamed it to his channel as well, we co-hosted a special show. Oh, excuse me, a burp. Anyways, we co-hosted a show that was called National Socialism in Atheism, or Atheism. Brett, I think you're going to need to hit me upside the head here. My mouth isn't working. National Socialism in Satanism. And we started off the show, and at the very beginning of the show, we had some clips going that made it quite clear that the show was copyright protected. Now, for those of you who don't know, that whenever you upload anything to YouTube or any of these social media sites that such as YouTube or Rumble, BitChute, even Facebook or Twitter, your video content is automatically copyrighted to you. It is 100% copyrighted. Now, most people don't understand copyright laws, and apparently the raging anus understands it even less than most people, because he obviously can't even read a standard copyright warning when we put it up. And what we had was this copyright warning right at the beginning of the episode. As you can see, and I'm going to read it out for people, it says, "Attention, this live stream video is protected by copyright. The reproduction of this video in whole or in part, including adapting, screen capturing, copying, issuing copies, or making the same available on any online or offline platform without consent, is strictly prohibited." And in the fine print down below, it says copyright 2024 Lucifer LeGivorden and the Satanic Thulian Society, all rights reserved. We issued that warning at the beginning of my podcast, my show the other night, and it was quite clear to everybody. We also issued it at the end of the show, but also along with the beginning of the show, we issued this next screen. It is another one. It says, "Attention, the Satanic Thulian Society does not condone nor promote racism, political extremism, religious extremism, acts of violence, religious intolerance, or any other action that may lead to the harm of individuals. The views and opinions shared in this video are the sole views and opinions of the individuals. The topics discussed in this video will be of a highly sensitive nature and may be offensive to certain viewers. The Satanic Thulian Society takes no responsibility for the views and opinions shared by non-STS members. Viewer discretion is advised." I'm pretty sure that's a fairly obvious and blatant warning to be putting on a show that involves National Socialism and discussing it in any level of discussion. Now, I had several guests on the show with me. At least two of them were STS members. These were individuals who trusted me enough to come onto the show, showing their face and discussing their past histories. We also had a Another guest who was also a former NSM member, much like myself, being former, and had trusted us enough to come onto the show, again, without hiding who he was and openly discussing his history. So we had that going on, and we made sure that these copyright notices were in place along with disclaimers. Several times throughout the show, I made the verbal disclaimer that the Satanic Thulian Society, myself, and other people involved do not have any current connections to any racist beliefs, doctrines, or organizations. That we do not condone that sort of thing or anything of that sort of nature. So, yeah. As of yesterday, Dingleberry the Raging Anus decided that he was going to break copyright, clip grab several scenes out of our video, and then create an hour-long critique video of it, in which he called Brett not only a Satanist, but he also called Brett a Nazi. He called me a Nazi. He called several people Nazis. And he said this throughout the entire video. Even though we had made it all, everybody in the video had made it very clear that none of us are at present involved with any such organizations or movements. And Brett made it very clear that he was not a Satanist, that he was not a member of this Satanic Thulian Society, and that he was not a Nazi.
Nor a fascist. And also within the video, I did notice that he said that people who are Nazis need to be punched in the face and all that, just after accusing us all of being Nazis. So he actually encouraged violence. He was deceptive, and he lied to people.
Yep.
All right, with that being said, let's look at a cool book.
For over a decade, the Satanic Testament has garnered praise and hatred from the satanic community. It has been heralded as being written with class and style, and carrying on the legacy first established by Anton LaVey by its fans, and reviled by COS and TST critics for its no-holds-barred approach. LeGivorden doesn't just strike the hammer to the anvil, he shatters it completely, and levels the complete force of the black flame to blast wide the adamantine gates like never before. Take a look into the world of Satanism's lesser understood and spoken about topics. Was Anton LaVey really an atheist? Is there actual sex rights in Satanism? What is the actual satanic political view? Do Satanists actually support abortion? What is the Lex Satanicus? This and so much more are within these pages. Now let LeGivorden, along with a few surprising guest authors, take you on a guided tour of the infernal world of Satanism.
Amazon, get it.
Yep, right here. It is the thickest and most extensive book out talking about LaVeyan Satanism out there, next to Michael Aquino. Michael Aquino's books are so thick he actually had to split them in two. So they're both about 400 pages each, but this is a solid 500 plus pages than of one solid book. So go get it on Amazon. Yes, Trump 2024. I am going to a rally of his this Friday in Rock Hill, South Carolina.
I see that we've got some Jewish friends who've actually been on the show before. You guys might be surprised to hear that, according to the Raging Anus, I'm a Nazi now. So,
Mm-hmm. It looks like we got some of his viewers in here too that are expecting him to show up. I certainly hope he comes on. I really, really do. He was sent an invite. We invited him onto the show. I certainly hope he shows up, but I believe he won't. I don't think he won't.
Well, I just put the link out there for people. I see Mr. Bubblegum's in here. Bubblegum, you want to hang out with the so-called Nazis?
Yeah, you want to come in and hang out with the Nazis? The big evil satanic Nazis?
Looks like we got Mr. Kincaid. Hello, Mr. Kincaid. How you been doing? How's the family?
They're all right. Everything's all right, I suppose, at the moment. We're
Let me ask you something. In your area, have you had to run over any environmentalists that like to lay out in the middle of the highway?
No. I haven't even seen any environmentalists. I mean, I do live in New York, so you'd suspect that you'd see that sort of thing, but I don't live in this city, so no. Not even in Albany, not even in the capital.
Now, you said in the comments that you've been interested in actually asking Mr. Lucifer some questions and stuff.
Well, I've been prepping those questions. I don't have them ready yet. I was preparing them for Friday, and then all this shit popped off. So,
well, you won't be able to do it Friday because the man's going to go hang out with Trump for a little bit and probably get him some golden shoes and a beer, and then he's going to come back and debate again.
I'm not even going to be at home. I'm going to be at my mother-in-law's place. So I don't know if I'm going to be running.
Did I mess up the dates?
Stream.
Don't you have a show scheduled for the 23rd?
I do. I'm still going to be doing it. I'm going to be doing it probably from Rock Hill. I'll be just on my phone, so I won't have any control to do anything. I won't have most of my material with me or anything.
Oh, okay.
Like that,
well, we'll have to figure something out eventually then, because I don't even have a whole lot of time now because I have to go to work, not right away, but fairly soon. I might have like maybe 30 minutes tops.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, if you wanted to fire a question or two at me right now, that's fine. I'd be happy to answer it.
No, I just don't understand the copyright situation. I mean, I've been through this shit with Von Houten once before, and I got dropped, so I know a little bit about this thing.
Okay, well,
but I understand. I saw history. First of all, I've seen your stream twice. I watched it once on Brett's channel, and then I watched it once directly on your channel to see if maybe there was something different. There wasn't. I wasn't surprised by that, but I thought maybe. So I watched it twice. And I'd seen the clips on Knox's channel, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but I think it's Cthulhian shit. I can't pronounce his name. I'm not great with that. But he said that he went to prison for 11 years, and he was part of the Aryan Nation, and he admitted to doing hate crimes specifically against Jewish people. And I did not hear him once say that he wasn't part of the part of the skinhead movement or wasn't a neo-Nazi. He just said what he did before. I didn't hear him once say, I could be wrong. I can watch it a third time, but I didn't hear him.
We sort of cut him off before he kept on going. You're correct. That is Jake Lasky, Cuthian Productions. He is he has a very serious criminal history behind him. He is a member of it.
I know. I investigated his rap sheet.
You can Google him, and he's not a joke. He's the real deal.
Despite the fact that Knock and I are not particularly friendly with one another, he said I have no reason to doubt that this because I have Knock's stream, part of it anyway, because I have flying monkeys that deal with that situation, and because I thought maybe somebody would do something like this, so I keep backups of everything.
Yeah.
So he said in that stream that he had no reason to doubt that, and of course Knock is a felon too for weapons trafficking charges, and I don't remember what fucking year. It is early 2000s, I think, or something like that.
Well,
so like
the thing with Jake is he is no longer part of any of those groups. He ruined a lot of his life for the longest time, and it really caused him a lot of problems. And so he chose to walk away and devote himself to religion. Well, his chosen religion is Satanism. It's actual Satanism. And he reached out to me a long while ago, and I was having friends from long, because I was like, who is this guy? And then I got warned that he actually had a very serious criminal past, because I didn't know who he was at first. either. And I'm like, okay, who is this guy? And so I Googled him because he was writing me from prison. And he actually wrote, he didn't know how to reach me directly. So he wrote to the Brotherhood of Satan, which they're based in Georgia. We're based in South Carolina. And at that time, we were very friendly with each other. So he wrote to the Brotherhood, and the Brotherhood forwarded the letter to me because they did have my contact info. So they forwarded the letter to me, and I read it, and it struck me. And I'm going to admit, I was really concerned at first. I'm like, wow, I'm not sure if I want to deal with this guy. I'm not sure if I want him around me and my family and everything. He's got a really serious background. And don't get me wrong, I've done jail time myself, and it's not a joke. I've done time, but he's done hard time. He has done federal time.
Do you mind me asking what you've done time for?
Well, I got into a bit of trouble with CPS a few years ago because I trusted my wife to do the right thing by our daughter, and she did not. And when she walked out on me and my daughter to go be with a teenager, I was left holding the ball.
Wait, whoa, hold the fucking phone.
No, it is. If you look on my YouTube channel, I have an entire video giving the full details on it.
I will absolutely watch that.
Go check it out. Go check it out. Because, okay, so what had happened is last summer, I actually had some woke wankers try to out me as a neo-Nazi. They tried to out my criminal history, call me a child abuser and everything. And so I was like, all right, I need to get ahead of this. Let me create a couple videos, put that out there, put my side of the story out there, completely unrestrained, no holds barred, and just lay it all out for people. And that's exactly what I did, because I do get people asking the exact same questions that you're asking. So instead of always having to repeat the story over and over and over again, I got those videos. Go check them out.
Yeah,
I'm not a guy. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Brett.
Well, I was just saying it's best for if people are actually interested in that. It's over on his channel. You can click on his name in the title. See the title? It's blue. Go over there.
Yeah. I will absolutely look at those. I'm not a fan of the justice system. I don't think that it works. I'm not sure that it ever really works.
Let's put it this way. Because of the way my charges were worded, mind you, I didn't really do anything wrong. It was a situation where I trusted my wife, and she neglected our daughter for so long. And I had a little bit of idea that something was going on, but I was working for my landlord. Hi, Sarah. And I just didn't. When she walked out, I was left holding the ball with this heavily delayed little girl. And I'm like, holy shit, this is worse than what I thought. And what do I need to do? And I actually called up CPS like the day after she left and was like, guys, I need help. I don't know what I'm doing. And they laughed at me on the phone. They actually laughed at me on the phone. And so I was left hanging, trying to figure it out. And I spent like 2 months trying to get her all caught up. We were just about to get her all caught up with all of her papers and get her in with doctors and everything, when a particular individual who had a qualm with my girlie Diana decided, in order to hurt Diana, she was going to call CYS, Pennsylvania CYS, on me, because Diana, my girlie, had actually stepped in and was being more of a mother to my daughter than her own mother was at the time.
I see.
Yeah. And so in order to hurt Diana, they went after my daughter and had her taken away. I fought for almost 2 years to get her back. And I knew that I jumped through every single hoop that they wanted me to jump through. And when that wasn't going to work, I was like, listen, I talked to my attorney, and we decided to open up some backdoor channels to possibly have me be able to be part of her life continued. And that would involve me giving away my rights to her. And so I did that. And in less than a month after that, they tried to take me for more child support. This was Pennsylvania CYS. And I quashed that. I told child support that, listen, this whole case has been closed. And they found that it was definitely closed. And yeah, they were like, oh, okay, no problem. Thank you. You don't need to worry about us anymore. Within 2 weeks, I had because I was living in Maryland at the time. They jumped the border into Maryland, sat outside my house, had a warrant put out for me in Pennsylvania, and then phoned it in Maryland to have Maryland police come pick me up. I did 6 months' time because of the way that they put the wording on the charges. This and I literally had a CPS worker come into the jail, visit me in jail, and tell me that they are going to see to it that I'm put on Gen Pop with those charges. You know what they were trying to do? Can you tell me?
Oh, they were trying to murder you. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand how this works.
So yeah, so I had to put myself on protective custody, and they were trying.
Well, that's why they give. Well, that's why when you get into prison, they very swiftly give you papers so that inmates can check your papers, so that they can kill you or whatever.
You got to be very fucking careful. You got to be quick. You got to be smart. You got to be very careful. And
I understand how the system works.
Where I was put on, the block that I was put on for PC was also the mental ward. Well. So I saw some weird fucking shit there. We had a guy across in the bubble down below me across the way who had Renfield syndrome, and he would eat his own feces and all this other stuff. It was gross. We had other people on there who were genuine pedophiles, and I tell you what, they would talk about some sick fucking shit.
Well, that's the fucking thing, is that the real pedophiles are the ones that have no problems going out in front of God and everybody and telling you, hey, fucking
there was this
kids or whatever.
Man on there, and he would draw, and they were like childlike pictures, but he would draw pictures of the things that he would do with kids.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's rough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we got another guest in here, Mr. Darth Theranos. Dun dun dun. Bubblegum. There you go. So, shit eaters and pedophiles. It sounds like an everyday YouTube experience. Oh, see what I did there?
Yeah.
Join the dark side.
God damn it.
You doing the practice? The process.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the Darth Vader voice, because they're supposed to be the Nazis, space Nazis.
Right.
Okay, yes, you heard space Nazis. No need to be yapping.
Wait, is that okay? Never mind. I don't even have time to go down that rabbit hole. No, I mean,
technically, the Nazis were the first in space, so space Nazis is a real thing.
You're not wrong.
Iron Skies. Has anybody ever seen that movie, Iron Skies?
Oh, I have. Yeah. Good song.
No.
So, yeah, that's my criminal history on why I went to jail, and I have a whole video discussing it, and my kids in the video.
I will absolutely look into it and make up my own mind. I don't trust.
I also have another video about my time in National Socialism. If you want to go check that out. I actually in my live stream, I had a bunch of other former National Socialists on there. 2 of them were STS. So at least one other guy, he's a former NSM member like myself. He was NSM underneath Jeff Scoop. I was partially underneath Jeff Scoop, but then afterwards I was underneath Brett Kalutz or Bert Kalutz.
Well, because I don't have a whole lot of time. I'd like to
revealing your secret.
No, because I don't have a lot of time. I'd like to be expedient about what questions I do have or criticisms.
Okay.
So my issues were that, so like, for example, you had a lot of people that I've never heard of. I don't know if you queued up guests or if these just people that watch your show or what the situation was. Seemed like there were a lot of Satanists that were into National Socialism, or they were skinheads, neo-Nazis, or otherwise Aryan Nation, right? And I realize that there are. I understand that there are plenty of Christians that have identified or do identify that way. I'm not making any assertions about that.
Too.
But when you can, but also consider the size of the population. So I'm looking at the number of theistic Satanists, confirmed ones anyway, and looking at the population of Christians and going, okay, well, the Aryan Nation thing kind of makes sense for Christians because of populations and statistics.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think there's so many? Well, for lack of a better term, we'll just call them Nazis because it's a whole genre, but
you can call them
word,
National Socialist.
Fine, it doesn't. You can call them the King's nuts. I don't give a shit. But why do you think that there's such an overlap?
Well, I think it's mostly due to the fact that the whole National Socialist theology that was established by Adolf Hitler while he was in prison himself has been demonized by the general public. And anything that tends to get demonized by anybody, it could be Christianity, it could be the general public, whatever, tends to fall more into the appeal of those who would not like to be in the social graces of the general public. We don't like, we view things in a different light. On a side note, on where the occultism part in it comes into play, the National Socialist German Workers' Party, the Nazi Party, as we like to call them, definitely utilize a lot of ancient occult pagan symbology into their structure. And when they really start bringing it out into the public, they had these big parades. They promoted the Knights Templars. They promoted all this going back to your roots, to your pagan roots, even though they were supported by the Catholic Church. They were actually supported by the Catholic Church. Adolf Hitler, he was a Catholic. He was a straight up Catholic. And so it was really interesting to see that history right there. And that would have definitely appealed to the social outcasts in America back in the day. You had members in Anton LaVey's Magic Circle. When you look at Anton LaVey's original Magic Circle, you can see that he had people like Kurt Saxon in there. He was the guy who wrote the Poor Man's James Bond series. Give me 1 second here.
We got a new guest in here, Mr. Drewski. How are you doing, Drewski? Welcome to the room.
Yeah, what's up? Can you hear me okay?
Yes,
yeah, you're coming through good. You probably got one of the better mics on the show. Very good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, my mic. Oh, set. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, for disclosure, by you joining this stream, you're officially a Nazi.
That's right.
Just a disclosure.
That's pretty cool. I just want to say, yeah, my mic is, I had it on this stand, but my stupid freaking cat, I had it secured to my chair, like this other chair, and my cat knocked it down and it's broken. And I got to hold it like this now.
Okay. So the people who Anton LaVey kept around him, there's guys like Nicholas Schreck, Boyd Rice, Nick Bugas. He was friends with James Maddall, Kurt Saxon, and other people. All these individuals were involved with the National Socialist movement back in the day. And you can read about that in my book as well. It's in the chapter Satanic Politics. So these people, they were all over the place, and they were all in Anton LaVey's inner magic circle. Well, one thing that a lot of Satanists doesn't discuss is that Anton LaVey himself was a member of the National Resistance Party founded by James Maddall. This was a neo-Nazi organization. No bones about it. You can go Google it, National Resistance Party, and you will see it is, when you look on Wikipedia, it flat out calls it a neo-Nazi organization. So,
Hey, could I say something?
Go ahead.
I just want to say that for the record, that on paper the Nazis were the National Socialist Party, but they were not socialists.
No, they were not. No.
Yeah, because
socialists are
no,
considered
absolutely
far
not.
left,
Okay.
and National Socialists. I don't
I
know
think
why
we-
they chose that name.
No.
They're far right.
I think we start by
No.
defining fascism and socialism. I think that.
Yeah.
Hey.
Why don't we do that? Do you
How about, okay? I'll get like the definition I heard, and I think this is the most consistent definition. I think because the history of fascism is rather interesting because it actually comes from anarcho-syndicalism. Fascism has its roots in anarcho-syndicalism, which people don't know that.
Can you please? I've never heard that term before. I've been in National Socialism, and so obviously I was a fascist, but I've never heard of that term before. So could you please educate me?
Basically, anarcho-syndicalism is stems from feudalism, and the feudal system was guilds, which are basically unions of the medieval times.
Okay, all right, that I understand. Yeah, that I agree with that.
Hey, can I say one more thing?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say that North Korea's official name is the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. And North Korea is awful. So, I guess democratic republics are awful. It's just, I just wanted to say that, like, it doesn't matter what people call themselves. People will call themselves anything for their political agenda. It doesn't represent the political stance that they're espousing.
And for those people who are not aware of North Korea, I don't know how you couldn't be. And Drusky, you can correct me if I'm wrong about this. North Korea is a very brutal dictatorship.
Correct. But they call the official name. Go
But
on
they-
Wikipedia.
they're Democratic.
Well, that's the name of the country. It's the Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
Have you ever noticed that anytime a country calls itself the Democratic Republic, they are anything but democratic?
Yep, that's what I'm talking about.
When you democratic communism so hard, you go back to being a monarchy.
I know, right? No, I don't.
You know what?
In
In America, I'd almost prefer a monarchy at this point. Let's just stop the charade.
Yeah. Get Trump in there. Trump in there permanently. Let's just have a Trump dynasty.
Well, I mean, what is fascism economically? Because fascism is just private enterprise, private ownership, but with total government control and regulation. And is this not the liberal philosophy? This is what they want. They're okay with Americans owning guns, but they want to heavily regulate and define what a gun is.
They don't want them to own guns. They don't want you to be able to fight back.
I disagree. Fascism isn't about the government doing tyranny, because in reality, in America, the government doesn't really make decisions. It's all about corporations. It's corporatism. The government is the official like lawgivers and shit, but like they are corrupt and they listen to private corporations. That's what that's what dictates laws in America. It's not the government.
In a weird way, sometimes that actually works out for the better. It's a consumerist society, and the entire government is built around that consumerism.
In the liberal fascism, I would say yes, because fascism can go either way. It can go liberal fascism, it can be conservative fascism, because it's just private enterprise and government control. So it just kind of depends on which party has current control of the government, and then the fascism will swing that way.
Well, I would say that in America, both parties, they both work for the corporations. They're the corporations' puppets. Like we live in corporatism. It's not fascism. It's something a little different. But
it is fascism. America is fascism the same way China is fascist. I mean,
I'm
China.
going to point something out that is very incorrect.
Oh God, I can't.
Put up.
Can you guys hear me? Am I fucking?
Yeah,
am
we
I
can hear
talking
you.
to the?
You're good.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, we can hear you just fine.
Okay. Do you mind if I read a quick excerpt from?
Oh,
You just cut
you
out.
dropped out there. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear us.
You like dropped out real hard there, bro.
I have no fucking idea what's going on. Okay, well, I have to get going, so I'll just drop it in chat. I have no idea what's going on with
all right. Yeah, we'll put it up there on the screen. Just drop it in the chat.
All right. Yeah. All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. I'm going to point something out. Brett, could you put up that clip, that screen capture that you had up just a second ago?
Yeah, it depends on which one you want. Let's take a look.
It's the one that was talking about, not that one, although yes, this one. The National Socialist German Workers' Party handed guns out. They did control schools, but that's a whole different thing. They controlled healthcare. They gave guns they actually mandated that every citizen had guns in their home. So that's incorrect. I can't comment on the taxes. They did have control over the industry. They did not do abortion euthanasia. That was actually outlawed in the German Reich. Race determines identity. There was over 100,000 Jewish soldiers working for National Socialist German Workers' Party during the entirety of World War II, right up until Germany fell. And during the Nuremberg trials, they actually actively chose not to try Jewish collaborators because it would have looked bad. Yeah.
That sounds accurate.
Believe it or not. Believe it or not. A lot of people don't like what I have to say. They don't like it when I say things because they can't argue against me.
Well, people don't like the history because like they don't like this black, because they want a black and white history. And when you have the Star Wars and bad guys and the good guys, the Jedis, and they just want that simple good versus bad narrative, and they don't want.
Yeah. Could I just say that like people don't know history in general, and I'm not saying that like, oh, I know history and nobody else does, because I don't really know that much, but it's like people in their minds, they just imagine the reality that they want.
Exactly. No, you're exactly right there. You're exactly right. And the sad thing is, in my opinion, is that if you don't know your history, if you don't read history, you're going to be doomed to repeat it. And that's for both the good and the bad. And you're never even going to know if you stepped into another person's shoes, and you might even do it worse.
Yeah, I gotta say that is a line that people say: if you don't know history, you're doomed to repeat it. But I also feel that that could be inverted, because people tend to dwell on history. I think knowing history and acknowledging history is important, but dwelling on certain aspects of things that you're interested in is like, it's negative.
Sorry about laughing, guys.
Yeah, sorry. Was that from the? I didn't read that. I'm fucking eyeing my fucking cat. I don't know if you noticed earlier, because like my fucking webcam fell. My cat's just he's such a piece of shit. Fucking Chauncey.
Cats are assholes.
Oh, they are such huge assholes. And then they like to stick their asshole in your face.
They know what they're doing. It's not like, they don't have a brain.
Absolutely.
They
absolutely they do.
Yeah, no, because I got shelves with a bunch of action figures on it, and he just likes to jump on the shelves and knock down all the action figures. He'll do that shit at like 2 or 3 in the morning. I just wake up, I'm like, Chauncey! And like he fucking runs. He knows I'm gonna beat his ass.
I got one right behind me right here. His name is Nicodemus. He's a little black bastard.
Satan's little black bastard.
Say hi, guys.
Hi, Kit Kat.
You piece of shit.
Oh, you'll like this one. Check this out.
It'd be cool if that cat could do the whip.
Hold on a second. Let me get rid of so you can see the bottom.
He's biting me. He's biting me. The fucker's biting me.
Oh,
Chauncey,
That's a
don't bite
classic meme. I love that. I
You
used to,
misgendered me. You have misgendered yourself.
yeah, I used to see that meme all the time on Facebook. Like Facebook was great for memes, but my Facebook got hacked, and I'm just like, fuck
Oh
it.
no.
Yeah, it got hacked like 2 years ago, and I haven't been on Facebook since.
No,
he's
but,
just he's just saying that.
I honestly hate being on Facebook. The only reason why I'm on Facebook is so many STS members utilize Facebook. We have other outlets, but we almost never utilize them for the most part. But to be all honest, the only other reason is I have family on Facebook, and it's a convenient way to keep in touch with them.
Yeah, also since Facebook, like you need to have like it's like you can't really have an anonymous account on Facebook. So like I think like the groups in Facebook, like I would join the groups that I was interested in, like a Star Wars group or whatever. But like you like people can't be fucking too wild and crazy on those groups because it's tied to their fucking account and like everybody knows who you are. So like I did like Facebook, but I'm like kind of fuck it now.
Yeah.
Since I got hacked.
That's so true about women who fight to kill babies. They love kitties.
I'm awful, ain't I?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Hey, Brett, I just want to ask, how's it going, man? How are things going with you and your life and shit? Because
He's officially a Nazi now. Look at him.
Yeah, and a Satanist.
Because I've been off of YouTube for a while. I uninstalled it for a while. Like I said, like I was just like fuck Facebook, and I was like fuck YouTube for a while. But are things going well
right
for
back,
you, Brett?
guys.
Well, I was sick for a few weeks there. I was having a pretty rough time, and right now I'm trying to unstuff the left side of my ear because I can't hear out of my left ear right now. It's hateful.
Oh man, sorry about that, bro. Yeah, I know my brother always had a lot of ear problems, and I remember he had to like go to the doctor once when he was young, and like they had to like suck a bunch of shit out of his ear, and like it was the worst.
I hope I don't have to go that far. I've been watching these videos where people yank on their ears and do all this stuff to their head to try to get it going. So we'll see. We'll see.
I just like traction on my neck. And tends to loosen things up.
Oh, at the very beginning of the show, we played some Vosh clips. I don't want to spend too much time on him. If anyone wants to look into more nonsense about that fella and what he's been up to, you'll want to check out Devin Tracy, also known as Atheism is Unstoppable on Twitter. He's got all the goods, and he spends all day just slapping this guy around. So that's who you want to go to for that stuff.
Okay, yeah, I know Vosh is
I remember
really
Devin.
popular. A bunch of people talk about him. I don't know why. I don't really know how popular he is, but I just want to say that like I'm a big fan of Kyle Kalinske of Secular Talk on YouTube, and like a video was suggested to me, like him and Vosh did a stream. Like, oh, cool, Kyle's popping up on somebody's stream. That's how I first discovered Kyle. But then like I watched it for like 2 minutes and I just couldn't. Like Vosh is just like fucking disgusting. Like I said, I don't know really anything about him, but like just listening to him talk, like I'm just like, ugh, gross.
Well, the reason he's
Honestly, I
popular.
know one woman who I would love to introduce Vosh to. Her name is Lady V.
Is she a horse?
Oh. Let's put it this way. She graced the cover of the Cloven Hoof when we republished it for the first time. She is hot. She likes to wear spikes heels, carry a whip, and she enjoys kicking guys in the balls.
Ooh,
I don't know.
Yeah,
she's
it
got
seems
the
like
legs
something
to
he would
make
be
you
into that.
That's the nice version of her. That's the nice version. I'm pretty sure Johnny Dredd could tell you a little bit more about Lady B.
I just don't like the idea of Vosh deriving any little bit of pleasure in his existence on this planet, because like like I said, I see that guy and like I just get a bad feeling. Like he's got like
he would
like
not
he's
enjoy
like he's
meeting her, but she would enjoy having fun.
Like
Well,
I
Vouch
feel
will
like
fuck
he has
anything.
children buried under his basement, like John Wayne Gacy. Like
No,
I'm like, gross. This guy's
Look,
fucking gross.
there's like an image of a Vouch and his partner. His partner's walking in the back naked, and she
Cool.
looks like a literal troll.
Oh, that's not cool.
This guy will fuck anything.
I'm trying to do something with the overlay here.
You get
Goodness
everybody on screen at the same time.
Yeah, just
Let's try this. Nope, that doesn't work.
Yeah, it's
No.
fine. Y'all don't have to see my ugly mug.
Wow, why are you all the way down there on that one?
well,
Holy
it's because
shit.
it's because on that particular one, that's where we would open up a screen to show something.
All right.
So it takes up that entire area. Yeah, all I got is this. Seems to work.
This works fine.
Yeah, hey, Brett, I don't know if you remember me. I was on a couple of your streams before. I dyed my hair like this lightish brown, and I got these clip-on sunglasses now because I just want to look like I want to be Detective Crockett from Miami Vice. He's such a bad motherfucker. I love
Yeah, I
that dude.
remember you, man. We did an entire show together talking, and you came on a couple other times, and we argued with some turds out there. Yeah, I remember.
I barely remember because I was drinking like I am now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you did mention that you were thirsty.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Nothing wrong
thirsty.
with a good beer.
I'm trying to bang my manager right now, and it kind of sucks because I'm trying to find a new job because she's married with 2 kids, and it's just too painful to see her smile every day.
Well, I guess take her out for a steak and a wine, and
Yeah, sorry. Oh, because I told Brett about this. My plan is to become the top Pornhub channel. I'm gonna be the cunt connoisseur. I'm gonna review these VHS tapes, these old 70s, 80s VHS tapes. Let me just show you this new tape. There's no nudity or
be
anything.
careful.
Yeah, see, look at it's called Brat Girl. Oh, I can't wait to watch this one.
That looks interesting.
Yeah, I know, especially after that DCEU Batgirl movie was like canceled. Like they got
I had no interest in that thing.
Yeah, that
I
movie
don't have
looked like
these
garbage.
comic book movies that they're coming out with anymore. I have zero fucking interest in.
What about Deadpool 3?
We got somebody
That
new
looks
here.
interesting.
We got somebody called Ali Hogan as a
Did
guest.
you ever watch Sucker Punch? It's not based on a comic
Okay, I'm
book. It's a
joined
comic
on the
book
show.
like.
No,
I'm
Sucker
on the
Punch
show.
is based on a comic book. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have it. It's good.
I don't like Zack Snyder. That man is a fucking drooling retard.
It's a good
Hey,
movie.
Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Oh, hi,
You
am I
gotta
in the
give that
show?
credit, though. Yes, you are.
Retard alert!
Well, I'm just saying,
Hello.
if you make a movie that's 4 hours, you're a shitty filmmaker. You fucked up.
Oh,
Like,
great,
that-
great. Hi,
That's
I
not
fucking
good.
hate niggers. Fuck you for A-Log and Vouch.
Okay,
Now,
all
Okay,
right,
goodbye.
yada, yada.
Fuck off.
Well,
See you later, loser.
Jesus
Wait.
Christ.
did he say we love Vouch, or does he love Vouch?
I don't fucking know.
Do you get that a lot on here? That was weird.
Yeah. Oh, we got Black
Unfortunately,
Metal.
we get some dumb animals. It had happened.
wow, that was a really great way to introduce yourself by saying the N-word.
Ow, dude, turn your microphone down. Oh,
Sorry.
Ow, talk about blowing out my ears. Ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen, we have Black Metaler 666 joining us.
Evil Satan rise.
So now we have 2 STS members in here.
Nice. NANCAP. It's cool.
Anti-communist. What's so bad about communism?
What's good about it?
What's wrong with fascism morally? There's nothing the atheist can say.
Stay high.
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying America has been capitalist and been getting more and more and more capitalist, and things have been getting worse.
Let's think
So,
about this. When
let's
we
just
had
try
America's
communism for 1
biggest
year.
Capitalist, when we had America's biggest capitalist as our president, how many of us was actually benefiting? Our gas prices were our basement. our paychecks were going through the roof.
Really?
Everybody could pay off their car. They could pay their taxes. They could pay for everything.
I didn't notice.
No.
I mean, do you drive? You pay gasoline?
I take the bus. I've been taking the bus for like
There
10
you go.
years.
Well, there you go.
You live in New York?
I live in Milwaukee, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
Milwaukee,
you know what?
nice.
Actually, the Milwaukee County transit system has actually improved recently, and we got a bunch of new bus stops. And like they built these because buses are a little bit higher. Like they built these these bus stops that are like raised a little bit above the sidewalk, and it's nice. You know what? I think that's socialism. That's socialism. Like when tax dollars go to fucking things that would benefit the people who live in the fucking city. You know.
Maybe. I'm not going to say that's not the case, but you know what I think would improve bus stops even more? If we went like how Thailand has bus stops. Each bus stop comes with a line of independent working girls.
That actually sounds very nice.
We need that.
We need that. Yes.
You got another
Yes.
guest, ladies.
Here's
Hold on,
the
hold on.
bad
We
thing
got
about
another
guest coming in, folks.
Let's see what we got here. What's going on there, Messer? Are you normal?
Oh no, this is not gonna be good.
Oh, hello?
He's gonna drop
Yeah,
the
how you
N-word.
doing there, Messer? What's your story?
Hail Vouch.
Thank
Good
you.
good job.
Yeah.
Good touch.
Hail, click.
He's gonna say
Hail,
hello.
click. Hail, click. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I just want to say that I lived in Istanbul for a couple of years, and their public transportation was fucking insane. You could take a bus and transfer to the metro, which is what they call the subway, and you can transfer to a ferry because the city is split in half.
Ferry?
There's
A ferry.
Yeah, a ferry
like a
boat.
boat.
They call it a ferry boat.
Oh,
Because
I was expecting Tinkerbell.
it's more like a city state than it is a city.
It is.
And
Yeah,
it's-
city states.
It's
Istanbul,
split in two
Turkey.
by the Marmaray Sea. So like, oh, I'm gonna take a bus to a. Oh shit, my fucking cat! Get out of here!
Your cat really.
All right,
likes
well, you're
Tinkerbell.
fucking around with the cat over there.
I
Yeah,
know,
we
my
got another
cat.
guest. We got another guest. Hello,
Oh, no.
Schindler. Are you somewhat normal?
Fuck Nick.
Okay.
I knew that's gonna
See you
happen.
later.
Wait, one second. Let's make fun of Vouch because clearly these people are coming from Vouch's end. So let's make fun of Vouch a little bit. Vouch
Welcome
has
to the
fucked the
Vouchalism.
troll. Vouch is a bread tuber who is a quote unquote communist and anarcho-communist. And by the way, anarcho-communist is an oxymoron because if you're a anarcho-communist who believes in trans rights, guess what?
You're excused.
Right presupposes a government. You can't be for freaking trans rights and being an anarcho-communist because right needs a presupposition of government. You fucking idiots.
Hey, like I said, I don't really know much about him. Everybody talks about him, but I've never watched a Vosh video. But I do gotta say, because like people were like talking about him and talking shit about him, and I've seen some clips. And Vosh talks like fucking Butthead from Beavis and Butthead.
He's a sophomore. Like all these
yeah, because
of course, yeah, fire, yeah, fire.
There's this video because Vosh says that he's a socialist, but like there was a video where he was like shit talking the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, and he was like, "What is the point of the DSA? Is it protesting? Is it advocacy?
Is it advocacy? Yeah, Beavis. We're socialists now, Beavis. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, I tell you one thing. The block that I was on, there was plenty of fucking pedos on there. We had one guy though. He got deliberately put on PC just to get on at one of these guys.
Oh,
and it was fucking. It was fucking creepy because this guy, I guarantee you, if he wanted to get out of the entire facility, he could have done so. This dude figured out how to deactivate the magnetic locks on the doors.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So he got himself put in the same bubble as this one dude. And next thing we know is we see him. We're all locked down. It's after we've all been put back in ourselves. We got let out. Yeah.
My bad.
We got locked down for 23 hours a day. That's how that cell block works. You're locked down for 23 hours a day. You get 1 hour out to get your commissary, take your shower, and make a phone call home. That's all you get on that block.
That sounds like cruel and unusual punishment.
It's meant to protect the inmates. That's how protective custody works. And
I would rather be in a mental asylum than that.
That was the mental ward.
Oh, true that. I was talking about the old school mental psychiatric facility.
Anyways, so this guy, we're sitting there, and me and my cellie, we're at the gate. We're looking out over. We're watching TV, and we see this guy. We see his cell door suddenly open mysteriously in the bubble down below, and then he comes creeping out, and he's crawling so that the cameras won't see him. He comes over to this other cell, looks in it, pops his head down, does something to the bubble door, opens it up, looks out, sees where the COs are, closes it all back up. Next thing you see is that other cell's door just comes flying open. He goes flying in there, and it was just chaos from that moment on. He fucking beat this dude damn near to death.
It was like the Shawshank Redemption. God damn.
Wow, he became Solid Snake right there.
Literally, yeah.
Only one thing he was missing, though, is a cardboard box.
So the guards didn't see him on cameras or anything?
There's like a wall, and you had these windows, and there was a single camera in the middle of the block in the middle of the ceiling.
Spammer on the comments.
Yeah. Oh, all right.
I don't know. Let's see.
Not a problem. Takes me more than 1 second to get rid of shit like that. See how that garbage just went away?
Yeah. Anyways, good job, Brett. But
good job,
there was
Brett.
only one camera, and this camera had to rotate to look all around the block. And so you had the top row of cells, and they were like a balcony, okay? But then on the bottom, you had bubbles everywhere.
Oh, well, let people know something real quick. If you come in the room with the idea that you have several accounts and you're going to aggravate, all they have to do is ban one of your accounts, and it bans your IP, and then you're gone forever. So if you want to troll me, be clever about it, be fun about it, make us fucking laugh, or fuck off.
Yep.
I got a good one right here.
You don't want to blow your load too fast, because then you know.
That's right. Give it some love, am I right? Give it a little bit of love. Shut
I got a good one right here, guys. Watch this. Marty, you bastard! You got me banned off of that stream again, Marty! I am not a pedophile like you, Marty! Now! Unban me now!
What you doing, Doc and Marty?
No, it's a Cyrax. He's a very notorious lolcow.
Oh, okay. I've heard about lolcows. I don't really know much about that.
Yeah, Cyrax. There's an entire lore about this dude.
It's cows that laugh, right?
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
So what was the topic of the video? Because I think guys.
Well, we have like we have two main topics, and I think we're just going to get through those topics and sort of bullshit. It looks like our primary main topic isn't going to show up tonight because he's too much of a little bitch.
Reminds me of Cyrax trying to fight, Marty. He tried to be a tough guy. Guess what? He didn't show up. That's exactly like that.
Metalor, did you take your ADHD medicine?
I took antidepressants. I had a little caffeine crash.
That explains a few things.
I found that a bit humorous that raging atheists took quarrel with them being fascist. Was
not raging atheist, raging anus.
Raging anus.
Yeah, it's raging anus.
Well, he took
raging
war
anus.
Well, some of them claimed not to actually be fascists. They had a history of fascism, but they weren't no longer that. And I find it kind of humorous. He took issue with them being, quote unquote Nazis, but not with them being Satanists. And if you
Well,
actually
he was
knew-
also calling you a Nazi too throughout.
I'm not
that.
even a Nazi. If people
I know
actually,
he was, because you came on to the show. He started calling you a Nazi as well, if I remember. I'd have to look back at the video. I actually downloaded the video, but
maybe my avatar.
before I copyright struck him. Yes, and I am the one who copyright struck the bastard.
Good.
I downloaded the video. I saved it just because, if he didn't want to come on tonight, then we could just let's see where things go. If he wants to try to continue things on, then I can easily just go and take things to an attorney, and we can talk there.
Hey, could I say something? It's like we've been talking a lot about Nazis, and I just want to say something about the swastika. Let me just ask, how do you guys feel about the swastika?
It's just a symbol.
Well, it's a sun symbol. That's all it is. It's a sun symbol. It's found in many different cultures. It's not really a symbol of hate.
Exactly.
It's
you know what? I
power
love you,
symbol.
bro. I love you because I was trying to set you up to correct you, but like you're fucking correct. I got this book here. It's oh shit.
You went, yeah, I know. I have a problem with my background.
Kick him out of here. Kick him out.
Hold it near your chest. We should be able to see it there.
Put it on your.
There you go. Yeah.
Right on.
There we go. That's what I just want to see.
Oh yeah, it's called the Buddhist swastika and Hitler's cross because it's also the subtitle rescuing a symbol of peace from the forces of hate.
Yeah,
because
the thing is it's also still used by certain militaries today on their planes. What is it? The Austrian military still uses it, and they use like a blue version of it. And it's almost the exact same one that was utilized. Hang on, I just got a text message. Go on.
You played yourself.
Well, it looks like we got two more guests. Let's see what we got here.
Oh, no, here we go.
One second. I just want to say that did you guys know that the Nazis never referred to the swastika as a swastika? The Nazis called the symbol the Hakenkreuz. That's German for hooked cross. They never said swastika. It was Hitler's. He was trying to pervert. He was trying to pervert the symbol, and this, as you said, the swastika has been used across many cultures. Like even in North America, like Native American cultures have used that symbol. And
all right, I need to introduce a new guest and see what's going on here, and then we'll get back into swastikas and Nazism and everything else. Hold on. Abid, are you normal?
Nigger.
Okay.
He's gonna
You're
say
not. Let's go ahead and ban you for life.
Probably got to give that up, Brett.
All right, we got two more. Let's see what they got for us. Criminal. All right, very good. You're banned. See you later, butt boy.
And for like, if Frankie Atheist is watching,
Joe,
like,
what's your story?
Am I on?
Yeah, what's up, Joe?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I knew he's gonna say
You're a
it.
fucking loser. Go home to mama.
I'm just saying, I knew they're gonna say it. I knew they're gonna say it.
I try to give people the opportunity to act a little bit more civilized than a fucking.
We have a person. It is the boyfriend of that Hollywood chick who was talking to us last night on private messenger on Facebook, Brett. He is trying to call in, and they are Satanists, and they are of a very particular persuasion.
Right. So my phone number, as you know, since we talked on it, that's not something for people to be able to call in and talk to me. They'd actually have to come into the room.
If you're on YouTube and you look over in the live chat section on the side of the screen here, you should be able to see a link. Okay, click that link. It'll bring you in. We will be able to see you. Please be polite. Don't be a freaking troll. Don't be
Don't say the N-word.
Yeah, don't say the N-word. Don't be a complete jackwagon.
Can I say
because
something
we
real
will
quick?
ban you. This is supposed to be, even though we were talking about National Socialists quite a bit, this is not supposed to be a show where we accept that sort of behavior.
And isn't funny, like if
Sorry.
Raging Anus is watching, like who's the hateful ones here?
Exactly.
Are we the ones saying
He
the
is
N-word?
contradicting himself all the time.
Exactly.
Well, to be fair, atheists have been doing this for a very long time. Every time I do a show, they come in and scream their favorite pet name at me and stuff. So it's what it is. Has nothing to do with you guys. So don't take it offense.
Oh no, not a problem.
Yeah, no offense taken. But I was just figuring because she did text me. I saw it on my phone. She's messaging me on Facebook.
Well, hey, can I just say,
called twice.
You're going a little bit too over the top. Like, please be kind and please be respectful and please don't say the N-word. Like it's almost kind of like reverse psychology. It's like if I met you in real life and I'm like, don't picture me naked, and like you're gonna picture me naked, like
Yeah,
I
if
hear
you
ya.
tried to call in and if you're not getting through, there might be a problem. You might have accidentally got lumped in with some of these people who tried that. Try coming in from a different account, a different phone or whatnot, and because she's messaging me, he's tried to come in twice. And
Does this person have a YouTube channel? Because I'll have to unlock the authenticate if they don't have a YouTube channel.
yeah,
All right.
you're gonna need to have your
Unfortunately,
YouTube
if we do this, we're going to get a lot of dumb animals. So.
Oh yeah, I know that for sure.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Let's not let in the zoo doing this. Let's keep it logical.
All right. So don't bring anybody up unless we know who they are. So there we go. It's unlocked. They can try now.
All right. Hey, since we're talking about zoos and dumb animals, could I just mention how awesome the new Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes trailer was?
Oh,
that movie
yeah.
Holy shit, that
was
was
amazing. God damn. Oh my fucking god. I love the apes. Because I went I got sent home early from work. It was some politics shit. I don't want to get into it. But I'm like, fine, fuck it. I'm gonna turn my phone off. I'm gonna go straight to the movies and I'm gonna watch Madam Web.
That movie, I hear it has a horrible storyline, but it's got serious fat potential.
Yeah, you know what? I want to say people are talking shit about Madam Web, but like on a scale of 1 to The Room, that movie is like at an 8. Like it's almost The Room quality, good, bad.
I think my favorite, out of all the Spider Women that they have in that, mind you, at least one of them we've seen fully naked. Madam Web herself, we've seen fully naked.
Oh,
plenty of
I
time.
never saw that.
Nice.
No, we actually have. She was Anastasia Steele in 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, I never watched
Oh,
it.
yep. I get it.
I just want to say it was
romance.
funny because like the trailers played before Madam Web, and there was some awful trailer for some like what if America was in a civil war, like, and it was like trying to be a serious drama. Like the movie is just called Civil War, and it looked like fucking garbage. But then the trailer for the new Planet of the Apes played, and then after that finished, I was like, yes, apes. Like I told that to the whole fucking theater. I was like, yes, apes. That is cinema. That fucking Civil War trailer looked like garbage, and everybody laughed.
Yeah, it's pretty much a attack on Trump supporters, that one. But the ape movie looking good.
Fuck yeah, the apes, bro. Oh my god.
Fuck yeah.
I love the apes.
Because I mean, if they
All
do,
right, well, somebody trying to come in really quickly. I don't know if you want to add them to the stage, Brett.
Oh, we can try, but I bet it's going to be another idiot.
Ojo, please.
All right, what's your IQ, Ojo?
I'm a dumbass.
Okay,
Like the
Wow, they're entertaining us.
Yeah, they're trying to entertain us.
Yeah, they are trying to entertain us. I wish I had popcorn right now. I'll be eating right now.
It's like they didn't listen. You have to.
Once we start specifically just doing shows on Rumble and all that, if that starts to build up for us, then we can let people come in and be as dumb as they want to and laugh at them and all that. But YouTube's got terms of service, you know that.
And entertain us. You guys said anus.
Yeah, anus, yeah, anus. Yeah,
made
we need
the-
to score.
You guys said anus.
Yeah, the only reason people don't move to Rumble is because Rumble has such an ugly logo. Have you seen the logo for Rumble?
Yeah, it's got a dog shit.
I don't know.
And
I
the
heard of
interface
it.
is also dog shit. Like, it's not neat. It's like they really didn't think it out, and it's just like it's messy.
It is kind of messy.
Hey, check it out. I just got a new pin. I like these pins that I
Oh,
wear.
All I see is the brick wall. That's all I see.
Oh, hold on.
Luke,
there it is.
Does this person have a YouTube channel? Because
okay. They're trying to, Brett. They're trying to call your actual number that you have up on the screen, so it keeps on going to voicemail.
Oh, well, even if I tried to pick it up for you and everything, they'll be very quiet because they'll be playing through my stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I keep telling her to try to go through your YouTube and to get to the thing.
Let me go to my Facebook and see what we're dealing with here. Oh,
I mean, are they away from like their desktop currently, or away from their desk? Or something?
We got one more who's trying to come in. Rebarb. All right, so is everybody ready for this? Brett, you ready for this?
All right,
Yeah.
time to get the popcorn ready, boys. Let's go.
Okay, hang on. We got a troll. Hang on.
Okay.
How fast can you say the N word?
Bye bye. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Rebarb, do you have a brain cell?
I'm cool.
Oh, he's gonna play it out. He's gonna play out the N word. Okay, cool.
I'm not gonna say. I don't, dude. Look, I'm not gonna get the stream.
Come
taken
on.
down. Chill.
Come on, you want to say it?
All right,
Say it.
No, I like Planet of the Apes, dude. I was here to talk about the apes, dude.
Okay. Oh,
Oh,
what
the
do you
apes?
mean by apes? What do you mean by the apes?
Oh, I love the fucking apes, bro.
What do you mean, you racist?
Planet of the Apes, man.
Planet of the motherfucking
I've been
apes,
watching that.
dude.
I've
Are
been
you saying the
watching,
Planet of the Apes
old-
movie
I
is a
watched the old
metaphor
movies.
for a race war?
Dude, I watched it. My dad showed me the old movies when I was young, and I was like, I was just like, oh, I'm gonna call in, go on.
Dude, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. That was
Yeah,
so
I'm just-
good.
Yeah, it was good. The
All
Conquest,
the
yeah, I like
original Planet of
Conquest.
the
Yeah.
Apes were
Oh
good.
yeah.
The
Mhm.
I
What do you
love
guys
that
think
kind of
of the
like
original
classic, like
remake?
cheesy old cool stuff.
Oh, the Tim
I
Burton
guess,
one?
I think it's. I don't know if it was Timber.
Knew it. Knew it. I knew
Had
it.
to
I
get
knew
rid of
it.
that dumbass. Goodness gracious.
Well, at least he played it out.
Yeah, at least he lasted a few minutes.
That's
Oh
how
yeah,
you do
he
it.
did.
That's how you
He
do it.
did. He did until he decided to go. Yeah, I'm gonna be Keemstar right here.
I can't believe he called
Maximum
black people apes. That's pretty damn
Oh
racist.
jeez.
I missed that part.
All right, so I went over to Facebook. I
totally
gave
did
the
that.
person the link, and yeah, I don't know why they're. I guess yeah, I might have to just remove. my
Apparently,
number off
Facebook
that.
booted him or something. That's what she was saying. Gonna have to come in through her channel on Facebook or whatever.
Oh boy.
I'm still waiting for the raging anus to show up.
I don't think he will.
I know. You know, I call him the raging bitching Ike.
But I mean,
Nah, he's just a raging anus. He's
I mean-
probably got about a hemorrhoids going.
I mean,
More like he is a hemorrhoid.
Unless you're in South Park, he'll get the anal probe up his ass.
well, it's not like he's a moralist. So what kind of claim can he make against like somebody being an actual fascist? He's not. He has no objective. Moral.
I've never even really heard about this guy till just yesterday when Brett pointed him out to me, and I hit him with copyright strike. I've never even heard of him.
So basically, he was an atheist, a raging atheist for a while, but then he converted to theism or pantheism. He's no longer an atheist. But I think he thinks just because you're a theist now that somehow grants you objective morality. No, this is not something even us theists believe in.
Oh, jeez. Wow, sounds like Dark Side Phil.
You can't trust anything on the internet. People say anything to like get noticed, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, he's going through something because he had family problems like you did there.
Those clips that Brett was playing, he was in some sort of room with some graffiti on the wall. I don't know what it was. It was really pathetic looking.
It is pretty pathetic.
I didn't catch it.
I mean, I don't know if Brett wants
I
to play
know
those clips again.
I know he's going through like some family trouble, just in the same way you were going through some family trouble, but he said he was working on it. So, but I don't know where he got the idea that Brett was somehow a fascist now, just because he had fascist, quote unquote fascists on. Because some of them claimed they weren't fascists anymore. For example, Theo
All
Von.
of them are none of them are in the scene anymore. They've all walked away from that.
Yeah, like Theo Von, the comedian, he was an ex-National Socialist, a white pride guy. He's gone away from that now.
Well, this isn't the first time that Raging Anus has done this. I was telling Lucifer about this. This guy, if you look through my past shows and on my radio, he came in my room. He was friendly. He talked about his problems and his issues, and I listened to him like a good internet shrink would. And I was very friendly, like I do all the time. But every once in a while, he'd get a wild hair up his ass or smoke a bad bowl, and it was time to fucking give Brett Keane some shit. So it's like, okay, fuck you then, buddy.
Yeah, because that attack seems completely random. Because nothing.
It is random, indeed.
Yeah, because nothing
we said on the air the other night promoted hatred. I think the most controversial thing was when Ancestral Satanist said that the Holocaust had to happen. And then we clarified why he said that, what the situation on the ground was pre-World War II, when the National Socialist German Worker Party came into power, and why he felt that way. We actually clarified what he was talking about, and the fact that the general population of the German people was extremely dire pre-World War II, and that their backs were to the wall because of all the remunerations that was coming from World War I. I mean, these people were literally dying in the streets, and it wasn't. No one was stopping it. Not until the Nazi Party came in, and they put a stop to it.
Yeah, this is in the very same way. After the fall of the monarchy in Russia, it was who came and filled in that void of power. It was the communists.
Mm-hmm. And it's, Stalin, Lenin and Stalin, they were doing some horrible shit.
Oh yeah, they commit a lot of atrocities.
They too were ordering people to be starved to death in the streets in Stalinist Russia.
And gulags too.
Yeah, I just don't know what you guys are talking about. Like I said, I don't know history. Do you guys have a point to this? Like, what is your point?
Well, the point
we
that
sort of just went down a rabbit hole.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So it started with Angry Atheist. He's a YouTuber who was complaining about Brett King possibly being a fascist or being a fascist, but
no, he was calling him a straight up Nazi.
Okay, yeah, he was calling him straight up Nazi. But it's like nowhere in that video did Brett King ever promote him being he didn't promote fascism or even claim to be a fascist.
No.
He was quiet through most of it like he is right now.
Like he was. Like I was watching it like yesterday. It's like yesterday or 2 days ago. It's like I don't see any promotion of Nazi National Socialism any way and form.
Guys, I'll be right back. I need to use Little Aliens room.
But I think
all right.
But
I do too. I'm sorry. I'll be back in like less time than he is. Hold on.
But I think
we'll keep an eye on your cat. All right.
I hate him.
But I think it really just stems from him being a leftist, because like as a leftist, he has a natural reaction to anything right wing. So anything right wing to him, anything that isn't leftist is going to be fascist.
Well, yes. I've had this issue off and on with people on the internet because on my show, I've always, as you'll notice when you watch other people's podcasts, they might have one guest on or do an interview, but I've always let all kinds of different ideologies, groups, no matter what kind of theist or non-believer you are, come on. And every time somebody ends up making a video and then they say, Brett's a pagan today. Brett's this today.
Oh, yes.
It's that kind of bullshit. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I can see how the Christian would definitely classify you as a pagan just because you have a Satanist on conversing with a polytheist or a Satanist over here. And you don't hold to their dogmatic views because to be a Christian, they won't say this out loud, but what they really want to say, if you don't hold to our beliefs, in specific our beliefs, then you're not a Christian. But they won't say that out loud.
Well, I agree with you. And I've actually had Christians in the background tell me, why do you have these type of folks up? Why do you have this? Why do you have pagans? And I'm like,
can I say something over here?
I say to them, you claim you want to be able to sow seeds and bring people to Jesus, but you're telling me that we shouldn't even talk to people. That's stupid. I mean, how are you even doing your ideology if you're going to just turn off every time you don't like the way someone looks or sounds?
Yep. Can I say something over here?
Shoot.
So yeah, because Brett, can you remember I mentioned about Shani one time that you were one of her guests, and all of a sudden she did a 180 saying you're a piece of shit? Yeah, that's what reminds me of that.
Oh, she did that like 10 times. She'd come in.
Oh, she did that.
Her and Revelation, they'd tell me about all their problems, and I'd be their internet sociologist.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of their videos, and it's so dumb. It's it reminds me of Dark Side Phil begging for tips and shit, and then you have other people like King Cobra JFS just going around getting drunk all the time on the stream. Every single locals are a bunch of e-beggars. They're e-begging for money, and they gain views.
So is black metal Satanist too, or
yeah?
Yes, he's a member of the STS.
Oh, no,
which is my organization.
I find that
All
funny.
right, let me bring you back up now that you're back. Let's see.
Let's bring up the big man.
Warning, I'm naked.
Hey.
Oh no! Oh, come on, man.
There we go. And I'll bring you over. There we go.
What the fuck are you doing? Scratching your nuts? I saw your arm.
Oh my god!
Did you see his arm moving like that?
No, I'm tapping, dude. I'm tapping.
Oh, the camera's on. The camera's on the whole time.
No, I was actually scratching my inner thigh.
Okay, sure. It was actually my inner thigh.
Come on, people. He's begging for treasure. Come on.
Come on, we gotta make it funny somehow for the audience, for fuck's sake.
Like this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm playing cockapoo here.
Did you just go to the bathroom? You could have scratched
Oh my god.
Mr. Lucifer, I put those images up if you wanted me to.
Oh,
If you see 'em, you
shit.
can talk about it when you feel like it.
All right. Let's go ahead.
All right, let's get to the topic, or else this could become a full-blown comedian show right here.
Go ahead and play those images.
Just play it, please. Thank you.
All right. So let's be very clear about copyrights on YouTube. So this is where the Raging Anus decided that he was going to
Raging
fuck
Anus
around.
cunt.
Yep. Let's put it this way. If you want to include copyrighted material, you kind of need to ask permission. YouTube can't grant those kinds of permissions. Can you put up the next one, which is more important? Here's the big thing. The Raging Anus, he tried to say, oh, fair use, fair use, fair use. It can't be copyright. I don't think I infringed on anybody's copyright. Well, here's the thing. You can see right here that YouTube videos are copyrighted to the person who created them and then uploaded them to YouTube. That means that it's copyrighted immediately upon being uploaded to YouTube, and it's your copyright.
So?
And when they say fair use, you got to look at the time frame. You get about 35 seconds of somebody's clip, and it's got to be educational. It's got to have something to do with things.
It's got to
like
be
that.
about comedy.
You can't use more than like 1 or 2.
If you put a clip up there and you start calling somebody all kinds of names, that's not educational. Maybe for you it is, for whatever school you went to, but not for actual fair use.
I don't know what fair use means. Could we look up the definition?
It's very loosely just saying.
Fair use. Go ahead.
Okay, so fair use is the concept that when you're like writing a book, okay, and you want to quote another author, you can clip a certain length of that author's previous writing and put it into your book, as so long as you cite them. Okay. Now, depending on what you're trying to achieve, decides on the amount of that you're allowed to use. So, in my book, The Satanic Testament, I have copyright permissions to use a lot of Michael Aquino's works for my books, but I also have a lot of quoted clips from Anton LaVey, Peter Yelmore, and other known Satanists. So, what's fair use? Where does that end? Does copyright infringement come into? Copyright infringement comes in if I try to claim any of this stuff that I cite as my own material. Copyright infringement comes in when I use too much of the material without permission. Does that make sense?
Okay, but like, we're not talking about books. We're talking about like YouTube videos, right? So like, how would
Same concept.
Yeah.
I use the term books because that's my general field of study, and that's where
It's an
most of my
explanation
knowledge
so
comes.
people can get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like, I just feel like if somebody wanted to review a movie on YouTube, it's like, oh, hey, I'm blah, blah, blah. I'm going to review this right now. And
Yeah.
like, they cut between the scenes of the movie, and it's like they're giving the review the whole time. But
All
still,
right.
it's
Brett,
like
we have somebody
sometimes-
who's backstage right now. It's Holly that wants to come in.
I see somebody come in named Hail Satan, but their device wasn't connecting. They didn't have their stuff hooked up, and when it's like that, I can't add them.
Okay.
And there's nobody. They're not in here now, so they have to tell
All
them
right.
that they don't need to have their webcam connected. They can disconnect that and keep their mic. But they don't know how to do this stuff.
Mhm.
Well, the whole fair use thing, you have to understand, some people are going to attempt to play an entire movie and then every once in a while say something. That's not fair use.
No,
but
that's not.
Still,
That's
there
work.
are reviews that are taken down, like from like it seems like legit, like it seems like the parameters of fair use have been being like it's been more strict, like, because I remember watching like the Nostalgia Critic or whatever,
Mhm.
like 20 years ago or whatever, and it's like I feel like a lot of people are like, I follow some people on Patreon who review movies, and it's
Mhm.
like, oh, hey, my review was taken down because I showed too much footage. I gotta edit it down, and I
Mhm.
gotta re-upload.
And that's why, here's the thing, and this is something that a lot of people don't realize. When you watch a movie commercial, do you know why each clip of the movie is only like 5 seconds long? Then they're moving to something completely different. It's because of fair use. They're only allowed anywhere between 30 seconds to 60 seconds for a commercial slot. And they want to show as much of the movie without giving it away as they can.
You mean 30
Okay.
seconds for a what? What are you talking? A commercial for some?
they can sample the
That's
movie.
why. That's how they get away with it for commercials. Even the commercial company, the company that makes commercials for a movie or something, they're only allowed to do so much, show so much in a single clip because of copyright.
Hey, I just want to say, like, I encountered some fair use shit because, like I said, I want to be the cunt connoisseur on Pornhub, and I didn't make any movie reviews yet, but I wanted to play a game that was on Steam, and like I did like a full.
Is it Succubus?
No, it's actually called Jenny's Dong Has Got It Going On.
Jenny's dog gotta go.
Yeah, like I did a playthrough of the whole game, and like I think it was the music or something, but like how like we got to get this orchestrate, like, because I think it was the music, but like if I'm doing a playthrough of a game, it's just me like playing the game. Like I feel like I should upload that. Like it should.
Yeah.
But Pornhub was like, oh, this was like against fucking copyright laws or whatever. It was a good playthrough. I had a good time.
I don't know. I don't know what Pornhub's policies are. We have another individual, Kawhi, and I am not gonna. Sorry, not with that. Not with the way you have that written down. That looks like a ball sack.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get
Just call that person Ballsack. Hey, Ballsack, how you doing today? What's your IQ level?
I didn't even play it out.
No. The moment I said we're not bringing you in because that looks like a ball sack, he just clicked out of there.
He out of himself.
It makes sense why YouTube has these rules. For the last 10 years, people were stealing people's entire videos, doing impersonation YouTube channels, pretending to be the person, then making money. And then the people who actually made the videos were getting copyright hit by the idiots. So that's why YouTube got so strict and nasty about it.
I kind of understand that, but I was talking about Pornhub. Like, I thought, like, oh, if I go on Pornhub, like, I could pretty much, like...
Yeah, I'm not sure what Pornhub's copyright rules are.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I thought, like, it would be a lot looser with that shit, but it's like...
They're sometimes a little bit too loose because they have had, like, child porn, because some of the actors have been children.
Well, some people have claimed that, but that was like 10 years ago, and Pornhub deleted like terabytes of videos after that. And now to get on Pornhub, you have to get verified. Like, you have to submit a valid form of ID, and it's very strict now. It's not like that on Pornhub now.
I guess they have to be very strict because, you know, the potential for underage girls and stuff like that. So, you know.
Yeah, no, I just want to say it was a hassle because I lost my wallet. I lost my fucking ID, and I had to find my fucking passport in like a fucking drawer. And like, yeah, I had to take a picture of my passport, and I had to send it to Pornhub, and they had to like verify it. And like, I do have a verified Pornhub account, but I don't really have shit uploaded to it because they're like so crazy with their fucking
guy's a coomer.
Copyright shit.
My God, you don't want to be a coomer.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I've heard it, but I'm not sure what it means either.
It's like a cum-minded version of a boomer. You know, you ever seen a boomer?
Okay. I thought it was something else.
What's so wrong with that?
Oh boy.
Well, what's right? The problem is what's right with that. There's nothing right with it.
You could say that about anything. Like, oh hey, I'm feeling real good today. I want to paint a fucking finger.
All right, let's take a little break from that for a little bit.
Yeah, that's a little break from that.
I was actually enjoying his company. It was sort of a fun conversation, but
it is a fun conversation.
Well, I did an entire show with him, and he just kept on going on and on about that nasty shit he wanted to do on his show, and I'm like, well, go do that then. What the hell are you using my show for? Damn.
I think he's trying to promote it.
Yeah.
He'll do that all damn night, man. So
yeah. Holly, I'm gonna say this. I don't know what's going on your end. If you can figure it out, you're more than welcome to come in, but you know, there's only so much I can do. I'm only the co-host on this channel.
I mean, what did she want to talk about?
She just wants to come in and chat. It's more her boyfriend wants to come in. And he got mixed up with all the asshats who tried to come in, and I guess he got out of there.
Yeah.
And he tried to call the number. He tried to call Brett's phone number, but that wasn't working. It kept on going voicemail for obvious reasons.
Because we're doing a show.
Are they also Satanists?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Well, you all see how easy it is to get into the room. I mean, it is 2024. I expect people to be somewhat sophisticated enough to click a link. You know, not trying to be hateful.
Oh, man, I'm just trying to follow the rules. That's what I'm doing.
I will say, for a first timer coming into the room, once you get the feel of it, it's okay. It's easy. But when I first came on, do you remember when I first came on?
Yes, I remember that.
And it was actually very difficult on my end to figure out what to do to get in. And so I was like all over the place. Diana can tell you about it, but it took me like 10 minutes to figure out just on my own, and everything was working fine for me. And I was still like, what the hell am I doing?
There's times we have those moments.
I guess we can talk about this folly. How do you combine anarcho-capitalism? Heck, how do you combine fascism with Satanism? How do you combine anarcho-capitalism with Satanism? Because it seems because you see Satanism, and you see a lot of people from the whole entire political spectrum now. You know, you see a bunch of
you see a lot of wannabes coming in. Now, mind you, when Anton LaVey first created Satanism, he wanted a lot of different people to come in. He was welcoming to a lot of different people. He would even crack jokes on how Satanism would be for like Gentiles and Jews, fascists, communists, and anarchists and Bolshevists and all this other stuff. And it would enable them to create take on for themselves a tough new title, tough new guys. And that just didn't work out. It just didn't pan out for how that went, because most of these people, they didn't want anything to do with it. But a lot of the people who were involved with the satanic philosophy that Anton espoused were definitely already involved with magic and sorcery, but they were also involved with the far right or alt-right philosophies. And it just gyrated. That's just how everything spun together, and it became something that that's just how it was. And when we started looking back at a lot of what Anton LaVey was talking about, and then we looked at how National Socialism was back even during the Second World War, pre-Second World War, it just, everything clicked together. It was a match made in hell.
Because I find that because you don't really see Satanism in America or in the West before World War II. It really arises during, the Spire during like the 60s and 70s, and I think it breaches.
That's when it became popular in the public eye, but it was definitely around pre-World War II. We had proto-organizations with the OTO and Golden Dawn underneath Aleister Crowley. We had one older Luciferian organization, which a lot of Satanists are adopting a lot of Luciferian ideas now, was Fraterni Saturnus, which was the Brotherhood of Saturn. And they're still around. They're a German organization. They're still around over there. And they're one of the oldest Luciferian organizations. And that they got founded, I believe, in the late 1800s, something like that. I can't remember exactly. I'd have to look them up.
Because I would say, the quote paganism of the 1930s, because I think Aleister Crowley identifies as Thelemus, but is that like a branch of Satanism or not really?
No, not officially. It's what we call proto-Satanism. All right. Okay, we I believe we have our guests coming in. Hail Satan! You are on the air with us. No, not officially. It's what we call proto.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Hello.
You might want to turn off.
Have a bit of an
echo.
echo.
Mute your TV there. You are on the air with us.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
They might need to plug in some headphones so they can hear us.
There, let me go outside. I'm hearing echo from the TV while I'm watching it.
Yeah, we can see you. Well, now you're all black, but you're with us there.
Oh, there we go.
All right,
Hello?
sorry. It's like a confusing process I was trying to get my daughter to go through with.
All right. All right. Well, you're on the air with us.
I was just curious because Holly was talking to me earlier about Augustine and the guys' disagreement with Augustine. I wanted to know what's going on with that.
All right. Well, there's a lot of people who's on the channel here who doesn't know about this. This is like STS drama stuff that is pre-Brett Keane. Augustine Moyer runs the Temple of the Abysmal Serpent, and he was a former member of the Satanic Thulian Society. He was one of our ordained priests up in Ohio, working within our Ohio Grotto district, and he was trying to get the Temple of the Abysmal Serpent running while having it as one of our official covens. Well, we told him he couldn't do that, not on a global basis, not on a huge big basis like that, because that would be stepping on our Grotto district's toes. And so we asked him to please stop numerous times. And finally, I wrote an article, and I was polite. I didn't name him at all in the article, but I made it polite, and I made it kind of obvious what I was talking about. He caught the message, and he threw a complete fit. Resigned from STS. Long story short, and there were some threats involved. And we told him, listen, if he wanted to keep on throwing slander around, we would happily sue him. But if not, he can go his way. We would leave him alone, as long as he left us alone as well and kept our names out of his mouth.
All right, so I'm not trying to cause division, but with the message I read, he called you a little bitch, or if I remember correctly what he said. And then
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
I'm just not understanding the whole division between the whole Satanist thing. Like,
that goes back decades, and what it stems from is Peter H. Gilmore of the Church of Satan really tried to, and when he tried to instill atheism into the general public, he really pushed a lot of division going on, and he really pushed that if the whole them versus us mentality, and that really spread throughout the entire satanic community. We call that time frame the Age of Andros.
all right, so do you know who Richard Holzer is? Or
no, I can't say I do.
So in Colorado, because I'm in Colorado Springs, but Richard Holzer was in Pueblo, Colorado, and then he tried to blow up a synagogue in Pueblo, and then he went to prison for that. And then I got lumped into that whole thing because I just knew him. But it's just a disconnect, I understand, between National Socialists, but also conservatives, and then Satanists. Like, no one wants to stand up for each other, and then everyone points the finger at each other.
Yeah. Well, a lot of National Socialists don't like Satanists that's one of those situations that they don't want to talk about it. And so a lot of Satanists who share those ideologies tend to separate themselves from National Socialists so that they can just kind of just be Satanists. And when you read a lot of Anton LaVey and you read a lot of Boyd Rice's writings, the writings of Nick Schreck and a few of the others, you come to realize that while we have these ideologies in Satanism, we don't often put them out there as being National Socialists. So it's sort of a mum's the word type thing. It's not often openly talked about. I think that's what's causing most of the stir from my video the other night when me and Brett, we went live on YouTube on so many platforms, and we showed that Satanism has nothing to do with liberal leftism, which is what the Satanic Temple is trying to push, and a lot of what the Church of Satan is trying to push. And we played a clip of Boyd Rice sitting in front of a satanic altar. It had the sigil of the Baphomet above it. He flat out said, "I am a member of the Church of Satan." And on the altar was a German Nazi flag draped over it ceremoniously. And whenever you listen to a lot of Boyd Rice's music, he makes it's very National Socialist oriented. So it's one of those things that a lot of people just don't know. It's kind of been buried, and we brought it back to the surface. We showed it up, and yeah, that's how it is.
Well, no. Holly's the one that turned me on to you, and then Holly was watching these like YouTube interviews with you, and then like with Alistair and everything, and then she was talking about all this, and then she was showing like, hey, there is other Satanists out there that accept your ideology of National Socialism, and she's the one that was pushing me towards that, and it was just confusing because every time I look up like national or Satanism on YouTube, I always get this left wing perspective.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay attention to that. Now, one thing I am going to say is a lot of Satanists, even though we share a lot of the National Socialist ideology, we don't push for the hate that modern National Socialists tend to have. And I've been around numerous National Socialists, and I understand exactly where they're coming from, and I see it. I see exactly why. And I can't argue with a lot of that. It's just at the same time, I can't bring myself to just be blindly hateful to so many people on things. But I still agree with the philosophy and the ideology. So
no one's asking you to be blindly hateful of anything.
I know. I'm just making a very big point about myself.
No, but going back to Richard Holzer, though, if you look up at it, we know him as Ricard, and he always came over here, he hung out, he spent the night and everything. We didn't even know his like real name until he got arrested on the news. But then my mom was like dying of cancer, and then I went back to Michigan to spend time with my mom before she died of cancer. And then when I came back out here, the FBI came and they fucking took me and interviewed me and everything, and trying to accuse me of like national terrorism because I knew this guy.
That ain't cool.
And then like, I had to go through this whole like process of everything with that. And it's like, no, I have nothing to do with that. But just because I knew the dude, and this dude was literally like the kind of guy that would give you the shirt off his back. Like,
yeah.
And then I think he was like entrapped in the whole thing. And then I knew him as Ricard, but we seen him on the news as Richard Holzer. And you can look it up. He's the one that tried to blow up the synagogue in Pueblo, Colorado. But
damn.
But he was not that kind of dude. He was entrapped.
No. I can imagine he wasn't. In my experience, when I was a member of NSM, in my experience, in all the National Socialists that I've ever met in person, they've always been the nicest people. They would literally, like you said, give you the shirt off their back. They would go out of their way to help you. But these are also people who have been pushed to their limits by society. And that's what a lot of people don't understand.
But no, they definitely been pushed. Like, let me give you an example. I just recently got fired from my job because I posted up on my work locker sticker where the public can't see an American Furniture Warehouse. But because we give furniture to the people. But on my personal work locker, I posted up a sticker that said Zionism is terrorism, boycott Israel. And because of that, I got fired from my job. And then I'm unemployed right now, and I'm still looking for a new job. And then Holly just recently got fired for a similar issue. And
wow.
We're both looking for a new job, and we both contacted lawyers and we're in the process of talking lawyers. And then one of the people we were talking to, they said, you should find a Jewish lawyer because the Jewish lawyer would probably defend you more than a regular white lawyer, which I think is true, even though I fucking hate the Jews. And I'm a National Socialist and a Nazi myself. But the Jewish lawyers will stand up for you more than a white lawyer.
I'm going to tone you down right there. We are on public. You are putting your views out there to the public. That can come back to you, and it can backfire on you. So please be advised of that. We are, I'm sorry, I have to disclaim that, that we can't promote that sort of thing on YouTube or any of our public channels.
No, I understand that. But it is kind of like, but we had another person at my work that posted up another sticker that had the Jewish flag and the American flag together. But me posting up a Free Palestine sticker, and then I had a Zionism is terrorism, boycott Israel sticker on my locker. But I got fired, another person didn't. And then when we went up to talk to HR, they were saying, well, won't that be offensive to Jewish people and this and that? But they wouldn't.
Well, you have to learn how to play this card. Look, if you play the card of being a hateful, they don't have to pay you. But if you play the card of, hey, I'm not being hateful, this is just my political stand.
This is just my points of views, and you keep it respectful. You don't say that you're a National Socialist. You don't say any of that stuff.
Well, no, I never said I was a National Socialist, though, no.
Which is a good move, but as long as you do that, you should be okay.
And look, Be careful what words you use, even among friends. It's you must understand. In this also, demons are very legalistic. They might be barred from hating, but one thing they can't say hold against you. They can't force you to be tolerant. So you can't say you're hateful, but you can say I'm intolerant. And see that shift of words now puts you as a defender, not an attacker.
No, I get that. There's a lot of mistakes I made, and I understand that now. I just wanted to call in because Holly was telling me to call in. And I just want to tell you, like, your channel has really inspired me and everything you've been talking about, especially the Alistair Nick video I watched on YouTube. Very inspiring. And then I just love your content. I just wanted to tell you that. Like,
Well, we appreciate having you.
Oh, I
And
think
I'm
you're
sorry
muted
that
there.
you went through the issues you have, as well as your fiance and all that. I hope everything gets worked out, and I hope you keep us updated on that.
Well,
and thank you very much for the compliments. I definitely.
I don't understand.
That was a really good message right there, dude.
Well, I do have other questions though, if you want to hear them.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So I don't understand why you do a channel with a Christian though, because every Christian I've ever because I was a Christian before, but every Christian I've ever interacted with has been so hateful and disrespectful and like just brush everything off. Like,
Well, Brett isn't a dogmatic. There's blinders Christian.
Well, there's actually we get to ask Brett. You and I get to ask this question a lot, and it's really funny actually. I've been getting trolled a lot by the Church of Satan. They've been attacking. One day I saw Brett trying to get a hold of them on Twitter and invite one of their members to his show. And I was like, listen, they're not going to talk to you. They're not going to give you the time of day. They're not going to be respectful to you. If you want to know about Satanism, if you want to know about LeVay and Satanism, I'll come on to your show. I'll talk with you. And so we started talking. We hit it off just fine. Brett's definitely not like that, where he's not like the ones that are just going to give you a hard time. He's going to be open. He's going to be respectful. He's going to hear you out.
He's not rabid. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not rabid at all. And so he's very different. And when him and I, we hit it off, and we've been doing these shows for the past, what is it, about 2-3 weeks now, Brett?
Oh boy, I got somebody out here saying Brett is lukewarm. Well, I like it kind of lukewarm myself. I don't like it too hot or too cold. I might get sick.
hey, well, brother, I'm not saying you're lukewarm, so that's not coming from me.
No, I'm replying to a comment out there. Somebody's goofing on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of goofballs on the comments all the time.
Yeah. But no, so him and I, we hit it off, and Brett just made a video where he pretty much said, okay, I'm going to back off from being this hard set Christian, because clearly I'm not. I'm just going to call myself a theist, which doesn't mean that he's not Christian. It just means he's more open to listening to people from different paths.
Oh, no. I fully respect that, because he said the same thing to my girlfriend. It's very respectful.
Yeah, exactly. And, that's fine. I mean, you could be a Muslim, you could be a Jew, you could be a National Socialist, you could be a communist, and he will welcome you onto the show and give you a platform to express yourself. And that's what people like the Raging Anus doesn't like, because he's going to be fair. He's going to give all of us the chance to speak and share our views and to show people who we are.
No, I just want to give you full respect, because I heard like a lot of negative things. Because I'm completely banned from Facebook because my political views of being a neo-Nazi. But reading like Holly's comments and like her like messaging people, and then like reading Augustine's comments, he like said a bunch of negative things about you. So I give you high respect for answering and then responding.
Yeah, I don't really bother with Augustine. He wants to run his mouth about me. He can run his mouth about me. He's not even a blip on my radar anymore, and he can go do his own little thing wherever he wants to do it. I've got my own thing. He doesn't like that. Tough titty twisters.
No, to me,
not my business what he does.
But to me, it seems like the whole same infighting I seen when I was in Christianity, like all these different sects of Christianity. It's like, why does
It's
Satanism
all
have
over the
all
place
these
in
different
Satanism,
sects?
yeah.
And you got Gnosticism, reverse Christianity, all different sects of like being deistic masked, and then it's just confusing to like, what the fuck do you guys believe? I know what I believe, but it's confusing listening to like all these other Satanists, like what they believe.
Yeah, yeah. I totally feel you there. I totally feel you there. And I'm going to tell the same thing that I've told people like Black Metaler, like what I've told Brett, and I've told plenty of the other members of STS. Follow your own self first. Don't need to sign up with any organization. Learn your path for yourself. And me personally, that path came when I saw the same thing you did, dude. I got people telling me, "Oh, you're not a real Satanist. You don't understand this just because you say Anton LaVey was not an atheist, just because you're not toting the party line." So what I did was I took that criticism and I used it as a motivation to study my religion's history. I started studying it not just from the Church Satan's perspective, but also from Michael Aquino's perspective and the Setian perspective. And then I moved into the Temple of the Vampires perspective. I moved then into Cthulhianism. And then I branched out into the other less LaVeyan perspectives. And I studied those too. And
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Like your criticism, you also motivate me when you told me, when you text me on the Facebook Messenger, you motivate me to do better myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Might I offer people a suggestion real quick? Anybody that uses Facebook, it's going to get a lot worse towards election. A lot more people are going to get banned and shut down because they're liberals running Facebook. My suggestion for you is to use Rumble if you plan on wanting a community and doing videos, and use Twitter where you can express yourself without having any kind of aggravation.
Well, even Twitter has its own problems. I would suggest using minds.com because that is definitely a much more open platform and it's fairly easy. And if you can ever get it to work, use Truth Social.
You know what I think people should start doing? Because I'm not sure if you heard about how Trump is not forced to pay some ridiculous amount. They canceled his business in New York. And so what the truckers are now doing, they're all unifying and say they're not going to make any deliveries to New York. So I think any Republican out there should start just boycotting New York and join the truckers in this movement, because that's going to put a lot of pressure in New York.
Well, it's not just the truckers who are giving New York hell for what they did to Trump. There's a lot of billionaires and real estate people are claiming they're getting the fuck out of there. They don't want to get burned like that.
No, but could I ask you a question though?
Go ahead.
So like when I read Michael Ford, like he's always talking about like deific mass, and then when I read like Augustine, he's talking about like Gnosticism, and then when I read other Satanists, they have like a reverse Christianity view. Like what is your guys' view of Satanism? Because I have like multiple different views, the same way I had with Christianity, from like Lutherans to Protestants to Catholics. Like,
oh, okay, I get what you're saying. Oh, you're muted there.
Your mic is muted.
Sorry, read my book. It's all right there.
No, I plan on doing that when I get the money to buy it. Like I sincerely do.
We're LaVeyans. We're actual true LaVeyans. We're not atheists. We're pretty much exactly what Anton LaVey described in the Satanic Bible, the Satanic Witch, and the Satanic Rituals. We also we progressed it further. We also adopted in elements of Setianism, the theistic vampirism. We have at least 2 grotto masters in the comments on YouTube right now. You're probably not seeing them on your end, but they're there, and they would be happy to help you guys out. You can find them on Facebook by the same names and whatnot. So, yeah.
Well, no, but do you understand? Like when me and Holly look up and we view Satan as a god, and then we have other people telling us he's a fallen angel from Lucifer. Even though we were Christians, we don't believe that anymore. Like,
well, that's the thing. You know, they technically, according to the lore, angels are sort of demigods. Now Lucifer, before he was written in as an angel, he was a minor god in Roman and Greek literature. He didn't have any temples, he didn't have any cults. He appeared in poetry. That's what he appeared in.
Well, yeah, in Greek mythology, he was the son of Eos, which is the goddess of the dawn. And when he talks about in Isaiah about how you've been fallen from heaven, O son of the dawn or son of the morning, that goes back into Greek mythology, how he is a son of Eos, and no one even talks about that.
No, because a lot of people don't actually know the history of the word Lucifer. And I'm actually really proud of you for knowing that. That's really
well, yeah, because his
great
real name is
study.
Phosphorus in Greek mythology.
Yes. Well, it's still Lucifer. Lucifer is Greek.
Well, Lucifer is a Latin translation of Greek.
Is it? I'd have to. I know
No,
that they're both.
his real
One's
name
the
is Phosphorus, because
translation.
Phosphorus is the son of Eos, and that's what got translated into Latin.
Okay.
As Lucifer.
May I ask, why did you leave Christianity? I find that interesting.
Are you done?
Yeah, there's a ton of reasons why I left Christianity, but it was the most hateful religion I've ever been a part of. Like, I actually wanted to be a pastor at one point, and then like me going and preaching at my papaw's funeral, which is my grandfather. When I went and preached at his funeral, I got all these hateful things, and it caused this huge divide in my family. And like,
I'm sorry that you had that experience.
yeah, and then they hated what I said, and everything I said was biblical. And then it was that led me to just researching more. And then me and my girlfriend Holly, we took mushrooms together. And then we had this amazing spiritual experience when we would open up to the spiritual world. You can't like normally do on your own without meditation. We learn that later because meditation you get in the same state. But we took mushrooms and then we took acid together, and then we were opened up to the spiritual world. And then we got opened up to, I seen Selene, the moon goddess, in my dreams. And she told me, she came to me as Luna, and then we looked up Luna as the same thing from the Roman mythology to the Greek mythology of Selene. And then we looked that up, and then we were getting more and more into witchcraft. And then my girlfriend went into this trance where she had this amazing experience with Lucifer. And then from that, we just completely broke the chains of Christianity and then went into.
What experience did you have with Lucifer? What do you mean by that?
Well, I'm gonna stop you right there, and like that's probably a very personal thing there, Darth, for them.
Okay, yeah, okay. If you don't want to talk, yeah, it's fine. If you don't want to talk about
let's not go into that right now. I will. Have you read Anton LaVey's Satanic Bible? Hale, can you hear me?
Hold on. Hello?
Do you drop out or something? We can't see you.
Yeah, I can't either.
Yeah, I think he probably did dropped out.
It wasn't my question. I don't think so, was it?
I know he's still there, but I think he froze up.
Probably something with the internet.
Yeah.
Bro, are you there?
Well, they're out there in Colorado.
It is pretty open there. That's what I heard. Oh, yep. Remember that one already.
So
Johnny Dredd is our Tennessee grotto master, and he does a lot of biblical studies. He's into draconianism, and so he has, when he says something like this, you can pretty much bank on it.
You know, I noticed there's certainly some sort of pipeline between like Christianity and Satanism and atheism, because you see the most vile and rabid atheists that I see in Satanists originally come from like an origin of Christianity, because I don't really see that much with Native American lore or just your simple line of the Greek pagans.
Yeah, I really can't explain it either. It comes in a steady level of progression, because I started out, I was raised Southern Baptist, and I remained a Christian all the way up till I was about 12 years old. And so I got out of Christianity very young, and I started studying all sorts of different religions, and I got really fascinated by it. And then I came across the movie The Craft, and that really interested me in witchcraft. So I started studying witchcraft, and I managed to get into a Wicca coven, and it was really interesting because it was Alexandrian Gardnerian style Wicca, and so that's like true old school Wicca. I mean, these guys were New Force Coven. They were directly descended from Dr. Gerald Gardner and his teachings. Our elders were his students directly, and so it really was a very interesting experience. And I went through 3 years of apprenticeship to them before I got my high priesthood. And so by the time I actually got into Satanism, I was a high priest in Wicca for over 10 years. So by the time I picked up Anton LaVey's Satanic Bible, I was well beyond my hateful phase for Christianity. I had gotten all that worked out. So people like Holly and her boyfriend, who we were just speaking to, they're still very new to walking away from Christianity. And so they've still got a lot of anger in them, and I can completely understand it. And when I see somebody like that, I just want to reach out and help them and be like, it's okay to be angry. Let it out. And this is the phase where being blasphemous to Christianity for a Satanist, I would say, is okay to do a lot of blasphemy, because this is the phase that it's perfectly fine to do that, to get it out of your system. But be mindful that at a certain point, it's time to start toning that back and focus on yourself and grow within your beliefs as a Satanist and grow in your beliefs as a human being and move past that. And see, that's where a lot of people don't understand Satanism. They think it's all anger and hate. They think it's all blaspheming God and just bashing on God constantly. No, that's just the bedrock, bare bottom to get you away from being a Christian, to get you past that, because we know the moment you walk away from Christianity, be it into Wicca or into any other beliefs, you're going to be angry. You're going to be hurt, just like he was. He tried to be a pastor. He tried to do the right thing and be good within his faith in Christianity, and he got a lot of hate for it, and that hurt him. That hurt him really badly, obviously.
Yeah. And according to what he said, he also was having family was being rough to him. So there's some deep scars. There's going to need some time with healing on that.
Mm-hmm. And that's where the role of blasphemy comes in with Satanism. It creates it's healing to these people who are walking away from Christianity.
I mean, because
where did he go, by the way, before we continue?
He just cut off.
Conversation.
He just lost connection. He just kind of just dropped out.
Well, hopefully he'll come back. And
I just hope his internet is all right.
Yeah, because
just remember out there, if you run into a group and you have some negative experiences or whatever, try to keep in mind to not generalize the entire group. Trust me, I've ran into a lot of dickhead Christians, a lot of non-compassionate people, but you got to try to put that effort to say, not all motherfuckers are like that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because you hear the testimony of like something like the Raging Atheist, their original foundation as to why they became atheists is because they had a disdain for Christian, because they had a negative interaction with it. And you hear this again and again and again, and you can't, and it becomes a pattern, and it can't, you can't deny there's certainly a connection there. I was raised, Catholic, but it's not something that was like ever pushed on me, and so I never grew the disdain for God. But certainly in the back of my mind, there was like, there's something wrong with this religion, but I couldn't put it into words or logically define it. Now that I'm older,
I almost became a Catholic priest when I was younger. I was homeless at the time, and I was a teenager, and the local Catholic seminary school was allowing me to hang out there a lot, and I started studying with them a little bit just to get myself off the streets for a while and get some food in me and keep my clothes a bit clean. And so I started studying with them, and I scored really, really high on their tests and whatnot. And I actually qualified for pretty much to go to Vatican to study at Vatican. And I had like literally 1 foot on the bus to go to the airport. I had my passport. I had everything signed, sealed. I was ready to go. And I stopped and I'm like, brother, I'm not sure I should do this. I don't think I'm doing this for the right reasons. I mean, I'm a Wiccan. You know, I don't know if I'm doing this for the right reasons. And they told me it's up to you. But if you don't get on the bus, you're not going to get another chance. And I ended up not getting on that bus. And that's where I am. And that's what brought me here today. I literally had one foot on the bus to go to Vatican to study to become a Catholic priest.
Looks like our newfound friend is back.
That is-
Glad you made it.
Yeah, sorry, my phone died. So
Oh, that makes sense. That makes total sense.
So what did I miss? What were you asking before I left?
Well, last question I asked you, if you don't, I mean, you don't have to answer it because I understand it could be personal, but I asked what was the interaction between your girlfriend and Satan? What was that experience? You don't have to.
No. I can answer you. It's not a big thing. She went to because we went into witchcraft first before we went into Satanism. And then, like, the main goddess that led us into that was Selene, which is the moon goddess of the Greek mythology, which in Roman mythology would be Luna. So she invoked Selene, and then she had this amazing experience with Selene. But why she would invoke Selene, Lucifer also came into her and then gave her this amazing experience. I was sleeping at the time this happened, but what she told me was when Lucifer came into her, she told her how he was her creator, and she's like, well, I'm not going to do anything evil. I'm not going to kill no one. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. He's like, am I asking you to do that? And then she's like, no. And then he told her to like be like this amazing person, do good. He's like, well, do you want me to burn the Bible? He's like, no, don't burn the Bible. My words are still in there. And then gave her all these like amazing experiences.
That is very interesting.
That's something that a lot of people don't understand is no, Satan, especially in his guise as Lucifer, the light bringer, the morning star, does not preach any sort of hateful rhetoric anywhere. When you look in Luciferianism, none of that speech is hateful. Satanism in general, especially LeVeyan Satanism, we have some very strong language, yes, but we don't really promote hatred towards Christianity. As a matter of fact, you know, and Brett can vouch for this, Anton LaVey was on the Joe Pine show, and he flat out said he had no beef with Christianity. Am I correct, Brett?
Yeah, he said the only time he's going to give people trouble is if they give trouble first. Basically, he would be defensive and deal with them if the problem came up. But he said he's got no hostility, no issue. He's just trying to do his own path, live his own life.
But I want to touch on the big elephant in the room. She said he created her. And from what I understand, demons cannot lie because they're upholding to the law. Demons are very legalistic, and I know they cannot lie. So why is Satan here saying I'm the one who created you?
Well, we don't.
I can answer that. Actually. Okay. This falls into the realm of Thulianism and some of the lore in the STS in our documentation. And it goes to the whole story of Cain and Abel. Part of the story of Cain and Abel is after he created the city of Enoch, Cain left. He went north, and no one knows where he went. That was the end of his part in the story of Cain and Abel, is that he just wandered off one day and Enoch took over the city that bore his name. Well, when we look into our lore here in STS, we have some myths that put that Cain walked northward, and he kept on walking northward on the orders of Satan, Lucifer, in a different guise, and he wore a different mantle, he wore a different guise, and he told Cain to go north to where the sun does not set. And so he went northward and came to these northern lands, and utilizing the black flame, he brought these lands to life. And just like his father Adam, he started naming the plants, and the first plant that he named was this small tree, and he named it Yggdrasil, and this tree became the world tree. And it turns out that, when we line up some of the Norse and the Abrahamic philosophies surrounding Cain, they sort of mysteriously line up, where this mysterious man came from the south into the Nordic countries, and he was the first Northman. And when we look at the mark of Cain, biblically speaking, I believe I've had this conversation with Brett before, the mark of Cain was a mark given by God to separate him from his people. And this mark, it had to be able to be seen from a vast distance. It had to be seen from a vast distance. So it couldn't be just like this little sigil or a word on his forehead. It was a likeness, and it was the likeness of Lucifer, which was, when you look in the biblical text, Lucifer is almost continuously identified as being fair of complexion, fair of hair, his eyes shining like the sky, so bright blue eyes. What does that sound like to you when you listen to it from the Nordic perspective? That is the air. It sounds like the Aryan description: blonde hair, blue eyes, fair skin. So when we say that Satan is our father, or our creator of us personally, just like the Abrahamic God claims that the Jewish people, the Israelites, are his people, his children, Satan identifies that the children of Cain are his. So that explains many of the cultural clashes between the Nordic people and that of the Jewish people. Hail Satan, would I be correct in my assessment there?
Who are you asking?
You.
Oh, me? Yeah. Yeah, technically you would. But do you want me to give you my girlfriend's perspective of what she was saying when he was the one that prayed?
Go ahead. I'm all ears.
So when she was growing up as a Christian, she always said that God had no face. And then she had visions of God, and he had this blinding light just flowing out from his face, but he had an visible face. So when she went into this trance with Selene, when Selene possessed her, the moon goddess from the Greek mythology, which also from Roman mythology, she would be Luna. But so she invoked Selene, and then Selene was inside her, and then she went in this trance. And then she dropped down, and then Lucifer came inside her. And then Lucifer was talking to her how he was her creator. And then he was telling,
creator in what sense? Creator as in
that he was the one that made her. He was the one that knitted her soul the same way the Christians would say that.
Fabricated soul. But
yeah.
See, because I see soul as something that arises through the experience of the spirit experiencing life through the body. So soul is not something to be made as programmed.
But do you know where the Legends of the Soul comes from, Darth? Do you know what the soul supposedly comes from? There's a couple different legends to it. And the most popular Catholic legends is that the souls come from the guff. Now, the guff is the guff. There was a Demi Moore movie that The Seventh Sign, I believe it was called, where supposedly Christ was being reborn, Demi Moore was chosen to be the vessel, but it talks about how all the human souls come from the place called the gut, which is sort of the nursery of heaven. And that's where that's comes from. Now, in Satanism, we also have another nursery down in limbo, the first circle of hell, which is in the citadel of human illumination or something like that. I can't remember what the name is right off bat.
Lucifer.
Yeah.
Experience.
Hail Satan, can you please mute your mic?
Come over here.
Just getting like a little bit of back chatter. That's why.
Yeah, I'll mute the mic.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Yeah, but so yeah, that's where all the souls come from. In Christian myth, is that they come from a place called the Guff. Now, in Satanism, we have. Let me look it up really quickly. This will only take a second.
No, and yeah, because I normally I'm more interested in talking about theology rather than trying to convince.
Yeah, no, I understand. Okay, so we call it in Satanism. It is contained within the. It is called the Vittorio Tiscoalis, the Nursery of Hell. It is in the citadel of human reason.
Citadel. Well, what does that translate? That words.
It's a castle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's a castle.
But this is just saying this is where they're being held. But this isn't really explaining their origin of the soul.
Well, that's when you go into Luciferianism and you go into how they accuse the demiurge of trapping the souls that were free roaming throughout existence and the void into a clay form, which would be our physical bodies. So the souls were trapped by the demiurge, or Yaldabaoth, or as Christians might identify him, the God of Abraham.
Yeah, I know that. Sorry, the Gnostic version of Christianity.
Yes, you're very correct. So,
because in my conception, what the soul is something that arises after. It's like first you have the spirit combined with the body, and it is through that experience that gives birth to the soul. But if it is as you say that the souls that existed in the void, which by the void, what we really mean is the mind of God, the true ultimate mind, not the Christian God.
You're talking Azazoth.
Yeah, if we go by the Gnostic narrative of the demiurge just trapping these souls, but how do they get their personality?
I can't answer that. I don't know.
Or is it something that is it something the soul gets after being born or encased within this clay body?
Well, see, I'm gonna go out and say, unlike ancestralist Satanists from the other night who said that people, the Native American people do not reincarnate, they move on to the next plane. I believe that souls do reincarnate. I believe that we choose to come back to this plane that when we feel that we need to, in order to gain the experiences to evolve ourselves to our highest form. And we come back as many times as we want. And I can see that this sort of continuous reincarnation does, and will constantly, change how we are as we get older. So say a true old soul, someone who is on the verge of never reincarnating again, might be somebody like, say, Keanu Reeves. Have you ever seen on how Keanu Reeves is in real life? The guy is an amazing human being. He's just this really wonderful person. And I would say that would be a good example of a soul who's probably in his last lifetime and almost to the point where he's going to fully transmute into a deific form when he passes away.
So it's like, so the body in this life is more like as a tool to evolve the consciousness of that baby soul.
Yes.
I got an interesting question for you. You ready?
Go ahead.
Okay, so there are actually two. Who's in control of the karma system in order for this process to happen? And second is, when someone reincarnates, are they only limited to Earth?
See,
Good
I
question.
think, yeah, those are a good question. I would say they're limited to this universe. I don't think there could be multiple universes, because if there is, because when they talk about the void, what I think they're really talking about is the ether, and what ether is basically the medium of the mind of God, the true God, the ultimate. And you cannot have multiple universes with different laws, because if they do, if let's say they were, let's say 100 or just 2 universes, if these universes collide with one another, it would be a contradiction in laws and cause implosion and the destruction of those universes.
Hey, can I ask you guys a question about that?
Go ahead.
So when you say karma, what do you mean by karma?
Moral legal system, I would think.
Well, some people, especially in what was that religion that I looked into a while back, the idea is that if someone didn't have enough experiences, or they didn't learn enough during a lifetime, there would be some kind of system set up where they'd get a chance to come back and renew this, or do better, or get higher in level, and some would digress. And the question, of course, would be, well, who's in control of this karma system of who needs to do this and who needs to do that?
So when I look at karma, everyone talks about karma like if someone does bad, someone's going to come back to them. But if you look at like Eastern esotericism or in Hinduism, when they look at karma, it's like what you do up builds up into your next lifetime and how you're going to experience it. That, and then people look at karma completely the wrong way, the way I view it. Like,
I thought the Eastern's version of karma was more like cause and effect kind of thing.
no, it's about whatever you do in this lifetime builds up about what you're going to experience in the next lifetime and what you're going to reincarnate as. But most people in the Western tradition look at it as like, oh, if you do bad now, it's going to come back to you later, which is completely false. What the original concept was.
I think that I should probably use a different word than karma on this. Basically, who's keeping score? Let's say a person dies right now. Where are they going, and how do they, do they step through a portal in order to get into their new life? That's what I'm talking about.
I would say it would have to be the creator deities, because they have the right to the, like if I sell you a product, I still hold the right to it. And so if you're using my product, you're going to be liable to me. And if you abuse the terms and services of my product, which is the body, you're liable to me.
You remember, Lucifer, I was telling you a couple shows back that I actually see reincarnation as something that is very scientific. The universe is made of a certain balanced amount of energy, and if energy from our entity goes back into the universe, I don't see a problem with it reimbursing and coming back as a different life form. But the curiosity is, can it come back onto a different world, or is it only limited to Earth?
That's really a good question, because when we start talking about reincarnation, we almost never see people talking about being reincarnated from an alien. We always talk about past life experiences as experiences on this planet and things that we remember doing on this planet. Now, when I say this, I am also taking into effect that perhaps reincarnation, if we want to look at it from a scientific standpoint, could be genetic memory as well. There could be a play on our biological genes with our mind that could be affecting on how we see things memory-wise. So perhaps reincarnation is completely unknown to us in truth. It is only a notion and a concept that we understand the bare bones basic minimum of. We could be seeing things from the genetic standpoint too, and mistaking that for something spiritual. But the vice versa can also be the same. We could be seeing something spiritual and mistaking it for the genetic too, or it could be a combination of both. On a personal level, I have never heard of a person say, I am reincarnated from an alien and get taken seriously. I've never heard that.
I've had people on my show a while back. A lot of people would come in and they'd say they were reincarnated, but the thing that bothered me about it was nobody ever said, oh, I used to be a cockroach for 5 minutes. Somebody laid a cup of hot coffee on me and it was over just like that. Or I was a fly that used to eat shit or something. Everybody was a king or somebody popular or a celebrity beforehand. It was kind of weird for me.
No, Brett, I'm glad you say that, because when people talk about reincarnation, I don't think they understand where it comes from. Do you guys know where reincarnation comes from, or what culture or religion it comes from?
Go ahead.
It comes from Hinduism.
Mm-hmm.
And then the concepts of Hinduism is about what you do in this lifetime is going to lead into what your next lifetime is going to be if you're reincarnated.
Well, I appreciate the information. A lot of those people that came in, I believe they usually claim to be like pagans of some sect or group or something.
Well, no, that's
had a lot of Hindus.
That's neo-paganism, but it's the whole thing of this is what like really pisses me off of people that say that. They'll say stuff like, oh, karma's going to get you, but they don't know why they're saying that or where that comes from, because it says like, oh, I'm doing something bad to someone now and it's going to come back to me later. And that's not what that system really means.
But I think that kind of begs the question, what is getting you? What is the force that is, enforcing the quote unquote karma?
And that's the thing. In Wicca, they have what is called the threefold law. Anything you put out will come back to you times 3. And that is a rudimentary explanation of how karma is judiciated. When we look in Greek mythology, we hear of the fates and the furies and whatnot. We hear that, we feel that the gods have some sort of hand, either directly or indirectly, in deciding what karma gives back. But in all of this, I feel like there's something greater beyond what we would normally understand as being karmic and being karmic justice coming into play.
Hey, Lucifer, can I respond to that?
Go ahead.
So when you talk about like Wicca and them saying the 3 times 3 law, I think that law is bullshit. That's a law like to scare people off from cursing people, because they say whatever you put out is going to come back to you times 3, and they claim this thing of karma, but they don't really understand where karma is coming from. It's coming from the Hindu religion, which is in Eastern mythology, but that's not what it means. When you curse someone, it's not going to come back on you times 3. So to me, when someone says that, they're trying to scare people off from cursing people.
Yeah,
I definitely think that's a lot of the same. Remember, I was classically trained in Alexandrian Gardnerian Wicca, and that's almost exactly what it is. It's just like how Christians will say, don't do this or you're going to go to hell.
Yeah, I think we're accidentally bouncing on the comments there. Sorry about that.
You ever heard of chaos magic?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
And these people who quote unquote use chaos magic, they'll promote it like, oh, you can do anything except this, except this thing that doesn't jive with my political views, and then they'll try to bar you from using chaos magic to use that. So they kind of want rules to it, but they also know that there's no rules to it.
Okay, but do you believe in magic in general?
Well, I don't believe that it's actually magic, but what I think is going on is...
No, I'm asking if you believe in magic in general. Like,
I don't think it's magic. What I think is going on is some
Darth, that's a yes or no answer.
Okay. Well, the thing is, when you say magic, do I think there's like randomness, nothing acting? No.
No, I don't think that's what magic is.
What do you mean by magic? Because that's
I think magic was best described by Aleister Crowley.
I'm not antiquated with that. His
To
definition of
change
magic.
conformity according to your will.
Yeah, I believe in that.
Well, that's
But
what magic is.
but I don't. Yes, you can use. But this thing, when they're using quote unquote magic, they're appealing to some foreign outside entity to do the job for them.
So,
And
so you
gotta be.
don't believe in like foreign entities outside of your will, like outside of consciousness?
Well, that's the thing. You must be wary of power that is not yours. Sure, they're doing things on your behalf, but that is not your power.
But do you believe in spirits or deities or demons or angels outside of your will that can conform to make decisions in your life?
They're not conforming to my will. They're simply doing what I
But
ask
do
them
you
to
believe in
do.
entities outside of your will that can do things to affect your life?
Yes, but I don't think they're bowing down to my will. They're just simply
Oh,
appearing.
I never said they were bowing to your will.
Yeah. So to answer to your question, yes, but not in not in the sense that like they must must submit to my will.
That's not what I said.
Yeah, no, I know, but I just want to clarify that's not what I'm saying.
No, that's more of like a Michael Ford thing, and I don't agree with Michael Ford on a lot of things. Like,
yeah, so
you're not the only one there. Michael Ford is kind of screwy to read, but he knows his shit. Don't get me wrong, but even our Grand Archon in STS is not a huge fan of Michael Ford, and I can't say I blame him.
So yeah, to your initial question, yes, I do think you can have another entity do things on behalf of your will, but that doesn't mean. But you must be wary of entities whose power you are simply using because it is not your power.
no, I would totally agree with that. I think whenever you do a spell, or like whenever you do a spell and you're affecting like things to come in your fruition of what you want, I think it's never according to your will. I think there's either spirits or entities or gods or goddesses or demons or angels that bring that about for you.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that, but I wouldn't use them. I don't do witchcraft. I don't appeal to gods because I'm still very individualistic. I'm still like that's your power. I'm not gonna touch it.
No, but I do though. But I'm saying whenever someone claims this whole thing, I become a living god like Michael Ford does. I think it's completely fucking arrogant. Either you're a god or you're not a god. And then when you do stuff and you're just using the gods to get what you want, I think it's fucking completely stupid and idiotic.
Yeah, that's very ignorant. That is very arrogant because it will come back and bite you in the
But
butt.
that's what a lot of Satanists and witchcraft people do.
I agree. It is pretty stupid that they will use any deity for their own ego.
Yeah, because like this is something the Christians doesn't get. Like they'll say Jesus has paid my sins. Yes, he has paid your sins, but you are not out of debt, and they don't seem to understand that concept. Just because
But how has Jesus paid your sins though?
I'm not a Christian, but they would say by the shedding of the blood on the cross.
But that's a blood sacrifice. It's a human sacrifice, right?
Well, yeah, I'm not a Christian. I agree. It is a bit.
No, I'm not saying you're Christian, but you're using these terms though. So I'm asking you.
Yeah, I would say yes. It is a blood sigil. It is a blood sacrifice.
So why is it that Christians accuse like Satanists or pagans of fucking blood sacrifice or animal sacrifices, but it's filled all throughout the Bible of them doing the same thing?
Yeah, I do think it is hypocritical, but that's something.
It's very hypocritical.
Yeah, it's something you're gonna have to take up with them. I'm not gonna defend them on them, because even the Muslims will criticize them for this. Like, God needs no sacrifice from you.
But you do know the Muslim God Allah is the same God as Yahweh, right?
They would say no. Sure.
No, they would say no, but it is the same God. It's the Abrahamic God.
Yeah, in the sense like they're appealing to the quote unquote same Abrahamic God, but deep down they know they're not actually talking about the same God because to a Christian, Yahweh is the Trinity. And
but
Muslims
if you compare it, like if you look at comparative religions and you look at Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, it is the same God.
It's only the same God on paper, but in terms of
according to what they believe, even they praise Jesus in
No, he's just a Messiah according to Muslims. He's not.
Okay, they still praise him. It's the still same God they totally worship though.
No, they don't worship Jesus.
No, not Jesus. They worship Allah, which is Yahweh, and a
No.
different name.
Okay, so they say like Allah has so many hidden names.
So if you go back to
I'm
like
gonna step in here,
Mesopotamia
guys.
and Sumerian religion, and you look
Guys,
at
I'm stepping
Enlil
in
and
here.
Enki, there's
All right, guys.
comparative between Enlil and Enki from Yahweh to Satan.
I'm going to step in here, boys. Settle down. Yes, Allah is the same God as Yahweh. They are identified even in each other's scriptures as the same deity. It is also the same deity that is mentioned in ancient Egyptian times as the Aten. When you compare what they have done and what they say in their individual scriptures, it is all the same thing. They are indeed the same deity under different names.
I would say because the Christians will say Jesus is Yahweh or Yahweh is Jesus, but I think that's only on paper because if you actually look through the history, Yahweh is a desert pagan god who was defeated by Chemosh, I believe, and Chemosh is a water
Okay,
god
but you're
or a
talking
river
to a
god.
former Christian though. When you're talking about like Yahweh being Jesus, that's going into like Trinitarian belief.
Yeah, but it's
It
still
has
part
nothing
of
to
the
do
belief.
with Yahweh being Allah.
No, I'm giving this as an example to explain that this is merely on paper. Sure, they claim it to be the same God, but it is not actually the fact that they are the same God.
All right, do you know what it means to be pagan?
Pagan just means a person who doesn't worship your God. So to me, Christians
no,
are the
pagan is
pagans.
anyone that's not a part of the Abrahamic religions.
No, that's how they redefined it, but that's not the original meaning.
Really, because
No, the
pagan means
original
peasant,
meaning,
the peasant of the people.
Yeah, the original meaning of pagan was an Anglo-Saxon word that meant non-Christian. That's the original meaning.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I mean, if you look up pagan, there's also the definition: a person who does not worship your God. Because the Muslims would consider the Christians pagan, and the Christians would consider the Muslims pagan.
No, they don't. They don't.
No,
call
they
each other
don't.
pagan. I used to live in the United Arab Emirates when I was a little kid, and they do not call Christians pagans. They call them heretics. They call them infidels, but they do not call them pagans. The same goes for the Islamics, or not Islamic, but the Hebrew nations. All the Abrahamic traditions, they have their own. What's the term? They have their own derogatory terms for each other. It would be like how the Church of Satan likes to call a theistic Satanist a devil worshiper, and they tried to use it as a derogatory term now, even though Anton LaVey flat out said that's exactly what we were. They're using it as a derogatory term. So an Islamic calling a non-Islamic person an infidel is a derogatory term. A Christian person calling an Islamic person, something that's like a Muslim, or the original term that was intended to be derogatory is actually Muslim, but it eventually got adopted as being acceptable.
Yeah, that's where you get like heretic, heresy, and infidel from.
So yeah, if you look up the definition of pagan, is the person who holding a religious beliefs other than those of the main recognized religions.
Yeah, no, the Abrahamic religions, which is Christianity, Islam, and Judaism.
Religions, yes. Which is
So,
the
yeah.
main.
So yeah, so if
Anything that is not those is pagan, and that includes Freemasonry, that includes Wicca, that includes Druidry, heathenism, Norse heathenism, Odinism. They're all pagan.
What would be pagan by the context of the Christian, but not the person being that. So if the person is an Odinist, they wouldn't consider themselves pagan. They would consider the other pagan.
But they are pagan. Doesn't matter if they consider themselves pagan.
I've met
According to
plenty of
definition, they're
Odinists that
pagan.
call themselves pagans. Yes, they call themselves Norse pagans.
Yeah,
I've met hundreds of them like that.
Yeah, I know they call themselves pagan, but
No, but they don't have to call themselves pagan, though. According to the definition, they are pagan because they're not a part of an Abrahamic religion.
No, pagan didn't mean that you had to be part of an Abrahamic religion. It's
No,
just whatever.
pagan means you're not a part of an Abrahamic religion.
No, because like let's say Odinism was the mainstream, right?
No, what do you can Google this and look this up and it'll say that not part of an Abrahamic religion.
All right.
No, it doesn't.
Judaism
It
and
doesn't say that.
Gentlemen, please settle down.
I don't think.
This conversation is running around in circles.
Yeah.
Could we please move it on?
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get anywhere there.
We're not. It's just going around in circles, and people will just. Both of you are saying almost the exact same thing, yet you're disagreeing with each other.
You guys got some more questions or topics you'd like to bring up?
Hey, how about the new Star Wars movie that's supposed to be the new Raid trilogy that's never going to get made?
Oh, fuck that shit. I'm sorry. Fuck that shit. Fuck the Skywalkers. Like, fuck the Disney shit. The Legends timeline is superior. Fuck Disney.
Damn.
Well, tell us how you really feel.
I think he did.
All right, so, well, I don't know about you guys, but it's going for 11 p.m. here, folks.
It's like almost like 10 at my state.
Yeah, it's almost 10 over here.
No, it's barely 8 on mine because I'm in like California, so I'm like.
No, but could I ask you what you were even arguing for? Like what religious or spiritual perspective you were arguing from?
No, I'm a chaos polytheist. So I believe in one ultimate with multiple creators.
Okay, what gods do you believe in as a polytheist?
Of course, chaos.
So then you have a Hellenistic perspective, right?
Not exactly. So
Because the main god of Hellenism is chaos.
What is the thing? Chaos is seen in basically every continent around the world. So if you go to like Egypt, the Aztecs, they all have a reference. Even in the Bible, they have a reference to chaos. So it's not purely Hellenistic.
So what gods do you follow?
I don't follow any of them, except the one true, chaos.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, then.
Who is chaos to you then?
Well, chaos is a mind. God is a mind. God cannot be made out of parts. He cannot have a face. So I find it interesting when you said your girlfriend said God didn't have a face, because God could not have a face. But I also don't think God, for example, somebody says, "Oh, if God is real, why doesn't he show up in here and show himself?" Like, well, that's dumb, because then he wouldn't be God.
No, but he doesn't have a face to her when she's seen him, but he showed up to her as pure light, as a pure being of light.
Oh, that's the thing. God cannot be made out of parts. God cannot actually be within his creation. This is why when atheists ask us, or ask me personally, well, why doesn't God show up? Is that what I said? No, I'm just giving an example. So like when an atheist would ask me like, well, why doesn't your God show up? Well, no, he can't, because if he did that, then he wouldn't be God.
But then how come when he showed up though, he told her his name was Lucifer?
See this? Well, I don't think that's God, but I thought it was interesting.
Okay, but you say chaos, but chaos is not really a description of God.
Well, the description of God is the mind.
Let's just put it this way. Chaos is Azazel, the blind idiot God, living at the center of all creation. The moment he wakes up, all creation ends.
Well, no, there's only creation because God thinks. So God is the mind. It is understanding truth instead of Sufism and
Wait. Did you not hear what I said? Azazel is a blind idiot God. He is a dreaming God. So therefore, it agrees immediately with what you just said. That
no, but here's the thing: you said
he's thinking creation into being.
No, you said he's in the center of creation. So he's within
the center of his own dream.
No, I heard you say center of creation.
Yeah, which is his own dream. This is Lovecraftian mythology.
Well, that's
it's chaos.
Well, God cannot be within the creation. That's the thing.
Well, to me, God is just a title.
Because then he wouldn't be
Why
God.
can't-
If
All
you're
right,
a
so say you build a
polytheist, there's
house.
multiple gods, right?
Yeah.
So I believe in multiple little g gods.
And
So I
there's
think-
one big capital G god.
Yeah,
And then who is that? Just chaos?
chaos.
That's Hellenism.
That's not Hellenism.
Yes,
Sure.
that is.
Look,
The main
just
god in Hellenism is chaos.
I know. Look, I know
Where
the Greeks.
Nyx and Gaia and everyone, all the other ones come from.
Yeah, look. Yeah, I know that the Greeks have chaos in the pantheon, but so do the Aztecs and the Egyptians also reference chaos. So it's not purely Hellenistic.
So what do you think there, Mr. Lucifer? You gonna need some sleep? You got a busy Friday coming up. Gonna hang out?
I'm perfectly good. I'm just looking up Hellenism right now.
All right.
I'm just listening in the
Yeah,
background.
Hellenism is Greek and Roman mythology.
Yeah, it is. And it says beliefs. Hellenism is historically being a pluralistic religion with beliefs ranging between polytheism, animism, and monism. Although Hellenists may hold beliefs that fall into these categories, additionally, there are interpretations of divinity in line with Hellenistic philosophies like Epicureanism. Hellenism is, in practice, primarily centered around polytheistic and animistic worship. Devotees worship the Greek gods, which include 12 Olympians, divinities, and spirits of nature, such as nymphs, underworld deities like chthonic gods, and heroes, both physical and spiritual ancestors, are greatly honored. The gods exhibit both universal and local qualities. From the Greeks, their gods were at the same time universal, found everywhere and powerful over the whole world, and intensely local, manifesting themselves in particular places. Some Hellenists may also enrich their beliefs through metaphysical schools or frameworks of ancient Greece and the Hellenistic world, which developed cosmological systems. Among the most prominent of these are the Neoplatonicisms and Stoicism. That is the definition that I got from Wikipedia about that. So let's look into Darth. What is it that you claim? Chaosism?
Yeah, there's really no name for it, so you can just call it chaosism.
All right, let's look that up.
Yeah, that's what Hellenism believes in. Everything comes from chaos.
While you guys are looking up the information, I'll
There's
let the
multiple
audience know that
cultures
are not.
who believe everything.
Hold
That's
on.
what
I never said there wasn't multiple cultures that didn't believe in that.
All right, can you tone down the arguing, please? Otherwise,
So I'm going to let
I was
the
gonna say
audience
something.
know that on Thursday there's going to be a show at TTOR. Then Friday, Mr. Lucifer is going to be having a discussion with Kent Holden. And on Saturday, do we got something lined up, Lucifer?
Saturday, we will be doing the STS High Mass here at Firethorn Manor in the Black Parlor. That is my only plans for Saturday.
I'll be there.
So
right.
Like I was saying, just because Hellenism has a reference to chaos doesn't mean I'm Hellenistic. You can find this reference to chaos even in the Christian Bible. For example, Jesus will say, "Nobody has seen the Father."
Here we go. Chaos, Greek theory. Chaos is the Greek mythological void state preceding the creation of the universe, the cosmos in Greek mythology. Oh my goodness. I actually have a picture up. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen really quickly.
Is that the hand with the eye? I love that picture.
It's actually something very interesting. I'm going to share my screen, gentlemen. And let's see here. Boom. And I want people to look at this here. Let's see if I can bring this up. Oh, darn it. It's chaosism. Chaos cosmology. That's not what I wanted. But this picture right here.
Well, you got to add it to the screen.
Did I not add it to the screen?
You didn't add it to the stage.
Oh,
yeah,
oops, my bad.
There you go.
All right, so this is pretty interesting right here. You got, I don't know how well you guys can see this.
Yeah, I love that image.
Yeah, but here's the interesting thing. Give me 1 second. I gotta find a particular book. Let's just bring this up.
You ever heard the Muslims talk about, 2 right hands and some feet? I find it weirdly interesting too. Kind of references image.
This is Azazoth. That's Azazoth in Lovecraftian mythology. Does that not look a little similar to that?
Well, that's because Lovecraft got inspiration from theology.
Actually, he got inspiration from his nightmares.
Well, one looks like a sun, and that one looks very abstract and, well, chaotic.
Yep. So Azazoth lives at the center of all creation. He is pure chaos. He is a dreaming deity. And what is around him, you can't really see it very well here, but there is other creatures around him playing constant instruments to keep him sleeping.
I think that's a reference to the Bible in which, like, the angels constantly praise the Father.
Can I add something to this though?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I wasn't saying chaos was only original to Hellenism. It's original to multiple different cultures. That's why you have to go into like comparative religions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
I understood what you were saying, dude.
Yeah, and I was trying to make sure I'm not Hellenistic just because I believe in chaos.
Well, no, I'm very Hellenistic, but I'm saying it's just not original to Hellenism.
Yeah, of course not. So you ever hear of the hidden god? This is something that appears like in multiple cultures. The hidden god.
I've heard references to it.
So yeah, there's a reason he's called the hidden god, or as Jesus would say, nobody has ever seen the Father. Because if God cannot be within creation, because if he were to do that, then he would no longer be God. So it's a simple atheist strawman. If God is so powerful, why doesn't he make himself not God? Well, it's stupid, right? Like,
yeah, it's stupid. But what do you consider God, though?
Well, God, what he is a mind. Who he is chaos.
What about a form of energy or power?
Well, no, because that's just merely a description.
But isn't God just a title, though? Isn't there many gods if you're a polytheist?
Title, well, the Christian God is just a title, because to them
God is the
Godhead.
title.
No, only in the Godhead Orthodox thinking, God is merely a title.
Orthodox to what? When you say Orthodox thinking, what are you saying Orthodox to?
So, like in Orthodox Christianity, they have something called
that's what I thought you were thinking. But if you talk in like Hellenism or any other pantheon, there's multiple gods.
Yeah, I know.
So why do you refer orthodoxy as Christianity? Because that's not orthodox to me.
Because not all Christians are orthodox, and not all Christians have the same conception of the Trinity.
No one is orthodox, not even a pagan.
Conflict with some.
Yeah, it's really all over the place with Trinities. Like
because God is a title.
No, it can be. No, it can be a title.
Then explain polytheism if God is not a title.
Look, it can be a title, but capital G God. When I say God, I'm referencing capital G God, not little G God. Capital G God. And
then what is that within polytheism?
Within polytheism, capital G God within polytheism is not a title. It is a nominal statement of an entity, which is defining the ultimate, that which is the source of what can and cannot be.
That depends on which pantheon you're talking about.
I'm not talking about any pantheon.
All right. Enough.
This is not going anywhere.
Everybody go to your corners. Ding ding,
Peace and
Matt.
quiet.
Round is over. Round is over. Okay, so let's just put it this way. There's many different pantheons of deities out there, and when you say capital G God, most people think of the Abrahamic God because he's the only one that is iconically written with a capital G. But as we've proven, that capital G God could be anything from Zeus, Satan, Azazoth, to whoever.
Yeah.
It is the ultimate deity within any specific pantheon.
Yeah,
Now,
and this.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
No pantheon at all. So let's just make sure that we ended on that. Because, yeah, we're getting to circle talking each other again. And it's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere between you and between Hail Satan and Darth. And it's not moving this entire conversation forward.
Well, I'm willing to answer the questions.
Let's try this. Does anybody believe in a form of pantheism where an entity is actually a part of the universe? Or is it separate?
I do.
I do too.
Pantheism only means you believe in in more than one deity. So let's get that out of the way, folks. Pantheism just means you're doing that.
I thought it meant.
Same.
I thought pantheism meant.
No, that's polytheism.
It's
Why
polytheism.
am I getting that mixed up?
Yeah, because pantheism, everything is God, basically.
I'm getting that mixed up. I am sorry.
Yeah, I was about to call you.
I'm going brain dead here. I need coffee.
Yeah.
No,
Just
but the
saying,
terminology
both of us
you're
are
using, though, when you say
polytheism.
capital G God, you're referring to Christian terminology.
No,
Yes, you are.
No,
Let's not go this again.
No, the Christians have co-opted that, but that doesn't mean they're correct. Even the Muslims have co-opted that. That doesn't mean they're correct.
Name one other society who says capital G God.
Because when we
outside of
well, that actually kind of woke me up a little bit.
You'll let the dogs out.
That's one way to end it. I mean, we don't want any more of the circle talking.
So
thank you.
So, for example, if you will go. If you
All right.
No more of this.
No,
we're done.
We're getting tired of the topic.
All of us are.
I mean, this is a theist show. I thought the topics would be
Yeah,
around
it is.
theism.
It is, but that's not the point.
Hello?
I know I'm getting tired of it. I'm pretty sure Brett's getting tired of it. And we know the black meddler is getting tired of it.
I'm just tired in general.
I mean, are you
Well, you're
tired?
an old
Satan?
man. You need to go take your nap.
I'm an old man. I gotta get my new diapers on and soup. My Jello.
Oh man, I need
gotta go
some.
fall up the
I need a good
stairs.
Coke.
But no.
top of the
I
street.
mean, we have a lot of different topics here that we could talk about. I mean, we've been going over 3 hours.
I mean,
Yeah.
if he wants to
And-
go on a different show, I can explain him and probably bring him into my.
How
religion.
about we do this? How about we do this, guys? Why don't we set up an actual show? It could be either on my channel or Brett's channel, where both of you come on and we just let you go at it for about an hour or two, and we won't even say a damn thing. We'll just make sure it just doesn't get aggressive.
How's Monday?
I'm down for that.
7 p.m.
Yeah.
Central.
I don't think
Monday?
either one of us were being aggressive at all tonight, though.
No, you weren't. It's just you were circle talking each other. That's all. You weren't going anywhere.
Well, what
was
do you
just
guys
all
think
circle
about
talk.
Monday? Monday, 7 p.m. Central. How's that sound?
That sounds pretty good.
What
down.
do you
I think so, yeah.
Mr.
I mean, you guys
Hale?
made it to this show, and today's Monday. So if you can make it to this show, how about
Yeah.
a week from now?
Well, it's the thing. My job is weird, so I don't have a set schedule like Monday through Friday. It's more of a call in, like, hey, we need you today.
But
Come in.
can I ask you, what would you want us to be debating?
Just pretty much what you're doing right now.
Polytheism or
whatever you guys want to talk about.
I mean, what major question do you really have for me?
I don't know, Brett.
Well, I'll tell you
Well,
what.
Helsing,
I'll tell you what. In
what's
order to help
Helsing's,
the ball get rolling, I'll throw out a few questions at you
I could
guys.
te- I
and
mean, I
get
could
the
teach
top
you.
of the discussion going, and then you guys, do whatever you're going to do with
Because
it.
I don't necessarily think we were disagreeing. I think.
I mean,
No, you weren't disagreeing. It's just you guys weren't going anywhere new. It was just saying the same thing over and over and over again. It's like, whoa, let's break
It's
this
kind of like a
up.
broken record, basically.
Exactly.
I mean, I could do like a, tell you who God is kind of thing. Like, is there a God? Like, who he truly is.
Yeah.
Well, who do you think is God? Who do you think is chaos, the source of creation?
Well, God is the mind, and who he is chaos.
So, Bubblegum, I'll open something on Monday, 7 p.m. Central, and if you don't show up to talk about it or whatever, then we'll talk about the new 8 movie or something. We'll get into some kind of discussion. We always find something, don't we?
We always find something. Like
sure,
today,
dude.
we were supposed to have a raging anus on the show.
Yeah, but we all know what that happened.
Yeah, he's a cowardly little bitch. I mean, he's like, oh, I'm gonna handle Lucifer. I'm gonna handle Brett Keane. I'm gonna
handle Black Miller 666, even though he's not on it all the time.
He's going to take my internet cookies.
Broken record playing nails scratching a chalkboard.
Calling you the coward.
Yeah. He was on his show calling me the coward. He was calling Brett a coward just because he fucking copyright struck him. And
just saying, YouTube are not cowards.
He got sand in his pussy over it, and we gave him an open invite. We literally went on his channel. We both told him he could come onto this show tonight, and we would give him a platform to state his piece. And where is he?
He got sand in his pussy.
I think he actually finished.
He's probably over on his channel on YouTube right now, going like, "Oh, Brett Keane is a neo-Nazi. LeGivorden is a neo-Nazi. They invited me on there. I'm too cowardly to go, so I'm just going to sit over here where it's nice and safe, and I'm in my safe space, and I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry. They copyright strike me. I'm going to cry."
Jeez, that's like sound like an average lol cow right there. Just saying, that's like what something like Chris Chad would say.
Cancel. You know what? What I think happened? I think Raging Atheist just saw that he was platforming these Nazis, and somehow he
we're in the Nazis, all right. Yeah, we're Nazis.
And then somehow he equated that to Brett supporting them.
Yeah.
And he clearly didn't watch the video. So I think he went and actually went back and watched the video and actually saw that Brett wasn't actually promoting this.
Well, he watched the video. He had to have watched it so he could screen grab all these little clips out of it and then misinterpret it to everybody. And he deliberately Hey, Brett, before we go anywhere, can we go ahead and play so people can actually see the opening segment that you and I sat down and created for that live stream? Can we go ahead and play that?
Yeah, you have to put it up. I've been cleaning out some of the stuff over here.
Okay, I got it. I can get it. All right, let me find it.
Oh, boy. This is going to be really fun.
Where is it? I can't see it.
Well, I've been cleaning up the side thing. Did you put it into the other setup?
No, I'll go ahead and add it to this side. Thank you, babe. Let's go ahead and here it is. I'll re-upload it here. Let's go ahead. Now, once we play this, you can go ahead and delete it again, Brett. All right, here it is. So it's about a minute long. So this is the exact opening introduction to the live stream yesterday. We're going to go ahead and we're going to play it through. Okay?
Yep.
All right, so that was the introduction Brett and I created for that live stream, and I think it's pretty clear when it came up. That was right at the beginning that everybody saw there was a copyright warning there. There was a disclaimer warning stating that our Satanic Thulian Society doesn't promote hate, violence, or any sort of extremism. So, and this this idiot, he decided to ignore both of them, and he skipped past all that. He even skipped past the Boyd Rice video that we showed, that Boyd Rice identifies himself as a member of the Church of Satan, and he's sitting right in front of a National Socialist flag on a satanic altar. And it was for the 8888 rally back in 1988. So we were definitely talking about the history of Satanism with National Socialism, the history of how the two meshed, and we showed that there is a very strong connection between the two. And that was the whole premise of the show. And I think, Brett, I think you and we definitely hit it right on the head. Wouldn't you say so?
I think we did a good show, but we tend to always do.
Yeah, we do.
I always enjoy the shows.
I'm glad you do.
Yeah, you do a very good show.
But just saying, I'm also glad to be part of it as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, I figured that we must have done a pretty good show, because it's what got your girlfriend to reach out to us, I believe, because we didn't reach out to us after we aired that show.
No, she said nothing but good things about you, which got me to look into it, which made me want to come on the show.
Cool. Well, it's been a pleasure having you. I'll tell you.
No, hopefully I can get her on the show next time. She was like being really shy, so.
Yeah, well, we saw her briefly. Yeah. She can always come on and say hi.
No, but I want to say I wasn't trying to be like rude or disrespectful towards Darth. I was just voicing my opinion. I didn't want her to come across negative or antagonistic.
You didn't come across negative. At least I didn't take it as such. But the conversation, as I said before, it was beginning to circle talk over and over again. And things were starting to get a little heated. So we just kind of wanted to tug the reins back and be like, okay, cool.
Well, I don't think it was getting heated from my perspective, though. I wasn't getting upset at all, actually.
No, but you were getting animated.
Oh,
it's just being really direct in my opinion. Like,
Missing Mod says, good show, but my questions don't get answered. Well, Missing Mod, I know for a fact, looking at your channel, that you have a camera and you're able to come in and talk to us. And number two, the only thing that you've asked us is he is raging an atheist now. Well, he's using his atheist channel. I guess that's what he's bounced back to.
I don't think he's bounced back.
Do any of you wear combat boots? I wear SWAT boots when I go paintballing.
I wear bunny slippers.
I just wear just tactical boots every day.
I wear driving loafers.
Okay.
Nothing but loafers.
I hope that answers that question. I'm sorry that we don't answer your questions there, Missing Mod.
Shoot another question there, Missing Mod.
Cool.
She's a good girl. Sometimes she supports terrorism, but that's okay. I like her.
Hateful.
Fire.
Yes. You asked about magic on the internet. Did somebody answer?
Magic on the internet. I think so, because I mean, I'm pretty sure there's like magic surfaces on the internet, especially on TikTok. I mean, card reading. That's basically a magic service on the internet. Black cats.
I have a Yorkshire Terrier. I wish it was down here.
No, I got a question for you. Have any of you guys read George Lincoln Rockwell? Or?
Hey, Bradder.
Wasn't Rockwell that ex-World War II veteran who became a Nazi?
Yeah, he was the first founder of the first American Nazi party.
I've seen clips of him, but that's about it.
No, if you read his book, White Power, and he's got other books too. He's got like 3 books in total. They're actually really, really good.
What does he write about?
American Nazism. So like if you read like Adolf Hitler and Mein Kampf, it's kind of dry reading Mein Kampf, but if you read White Power from Rockwell, it kind of brings Nazism into American Nazism, which is bringing about American problems instead of German problems.
All right, so I actually have a question for you, Hail Satan. Being that you're technically an active neo-Nazi, I have a question for you. And I fired this question off the other night at the guys on my panel. And I kind of want to fire it to you. Where do you think the whole hate concept came into modern day National Socialist philosophy versus the original philosophy taught during Nazi Germany? Because when we look at Nazi Germany, and I'm going to point this out here, just like I did on my channel during my thing, the National Socialist German Worker Party, Adolf Hitler and whatnot, they didn't preach hate of other races. When Hitler wrote Mein Kampf, he wanted it to be adopted by many different nations so that it would promote, a national pride within that nation. But he just used the German people as an example, a base model.
So where did I ever say hate though? Like where do you get the hate?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Is where did it go from being not really a hate-based political philosophy to being the philosophy of hate groups in modern?
I think that has to do with the discretion of like the alt-right. But if you look at Nazi Germanism, is about German racialism. So they're not like white nationalists, they're German racialists, not white racialists, they're German racialists. But and then also when you look at like Nazi Germany, they also like the SS, like the Waffen SS, they went out to multiple different groups. They had like Muslims and then different other countries that were a part of that movement. And then when you come into American Nazism, that's when you get into more of like the racialism. But when you look at George Lincoln Rockwell, it's more about like white tribalism. And he's talking about like the American. So if you read Mein Kampf, it's like the struggle of the German people with the Jewish people being the oppressors, coming and taking over the banks, all these like societal groups from the banks to the media. But if you look at our society now, even like Kanye West talks about this, about how the Jews run the media, the banks, and everything else. So yeah, you have to look at it from multiple different perspectives. Yes, there's racialism from white people that goes into that, but you have to look at it why though. Because if you look at it from an American perspective, when you read Mein Kampf, you read it like, hey, this same thing is going on in America today. And then when you read White Power from George Lincoln Rockwell, he brings it into an American perspective though. It's more about like, so with Hitler, it was about German racialism, and yeah, you can look at it as white racialism. And then when you look at America, you look at it as white racialism because you have multiple different ethnicities from Europe that came over here.
Okay,
I don't know.
so
Did I answer your question? Or if not,
that sort of answered my question. So, are you saying that what it basically is that people have taken a look at this philosophy and then misunderstood it, and then basically saying that because it's a racialism where you're supposed to take pride in who your people are, that it is how do I want to say it? That it is a misunderstood philosophy of being that you, in order to be proud of where you come from, you have to hate everything else. Are you saying, is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying anything about hating everything else, but what is wrong with taking pride in where you come from?
That's what
culture.
I was trying to ask you. That it was a misinterpretation that people are saying.
But that's how the media and the left paints it, though. They paint it as white racialism, though. But what's taking pride? What is wrong with taking pride with who you are? You can say black pride and get away with it.
I understand that. I was just trying to make sure I understood a clarification that it was what you're saying is you believe that it is a misinterpretation taken by people, taking it out of context, okay, that they're trying to say that in order to be proud of your own people, you have to hate everybody else. So is that what you're saying? That they're misinterpreting what the intention was.
Yes and no. It depends on where you're looking at it from. Like, there's a lot of people, especially like, let's go the KKK. It's more like that was like a Southern group that wanted to reinstate the Confederate Army that wore the white robes, which was supposed to be the spirit of the dead Confederate soldiers. They was supposed to scare black people out and then make them
that
go.
Was definitely, there's no bones about it. That was definitely pure racism right there.
Well, no doubt.
And that predated the National Socialist stuff.
Yeah, no doubt. But I'm saying KKK is different from Nazism or neo-Nazism, which is American Nazism. It's not the same type of racialism as you would call it. It's more like you're white. You should allow to be proud to be white. You should allow to be proud of your race and what your race has accomplished.
And your ancestors.
Yeah, and every other group can do that except white people.
Yeah,
like black people can do it, Asians can do it, Mexicans can do it.
You're right.
Like,
yes.
Viva la raza. But when white people do it, it's racist, it's evil, it's Nazi.
Exactly.
Yeah, the left have certainly painted that narrative that being prideful, especially the whites being prideful in their race, that is hatred.
But the best person to answer the whole thing about the KKK is David Duke, and he gave like the perfect answer for that and why he left that fucking group.
Yeah. Well, they're also a Christian group. That's something that a lot of people recently. I've encountered this several times where people call the KKK devil worshippers and whatnot, and I'm like,
no, they're completely Christian group.
They are 100% Christian. I mean, they are diehard Christian. If you are anything other than Christian and you're talking to a KKK person, you're liable to get your head knocked off.
No, if you look at the history, that's why the KKK didn't get along with the American Nazi Party, because the American Nazi Party supported Germany and Hitler, and then America went to war with Germany, and that's why the KKK and the original neo-Nazi party didn't get along with the KKK because of that. And then if you look into like George Lincoln Rockwell, he didn't get along with Malcolm X, and they clashed. But eventually, him and Malcolm X came to agreement to fight the same enemy, which was the Jews. And then if you look at it, both Malcolm X was assassinated and George Lincoln Rockwell was assassinated. And then they say both George Lincoln Rockwell was assassinated by his own people, and so was Malcolm X assassinated by his own people. But that's kind of weird to me, because they came together to fight the Jews.
It definitely is weird, And me personally, I'm always telling people, be proud of who you are, be proud of where you come from. I come from Scottish heritage. We go to many different. We try to go to the Highland Games and celebrate our heritage. My son, he walks around occasionally, and hello, gorgeous.
Down.
Give me back some blonde.
Give me the good. Get the woman in here.
I want the manatee back.
Same man, same brother, same thing, dude.
Yeah, it could be Brett's wife. You better guys not be disrespecting the man here.
Even my son, he has a Scottish kilt that he wears.
My family is mostly from Germany, actually. My great-grandmother actually immigrated from Germany after World War II.
Boy.
All right. Well, Brett, what are you thinking?
Got a Luger in the attic?
I wish.
Say that again?
You said, what am I thinking? I'm just chilling out, hoping this ear pops in.
All right.
No, but I listened to your show the other day, though, and you're talking about, like, neo-Nazis, like, but no one brought up George Lincoln Rockwell. I would ask why.
Well, we weren't talking about George Lincoln Rockwell. We were talking about Satanism. We were talking about
you're also talking
the
about
concept of National Socialism within Satanism. So we weren't, we weren't talking about George Lincoln Rockwell. He was just never part of our subject matter.
No, but you're talking about neo-Nazism, and you brought up David Lane. Like, look right here, his book, The 14 Words of David Lane. But neo-Nazism goes back before that. It goes back. The original Nazi party in America was George Lincoln Rockwell.
Yeah, but I don't think he was a Satanist. I don't think he ever claimed that.
No, he wasn't.
Neither was David Lane. He wasn't a Satanist either. He believed in Norse mythology.
So, well, That was Jake Lasky who brought up the 14 words and David Lane.
Well, no, I believe in the 14 words, but I'm saying it goes back before that. Like Rockwell is where it originated from in America.
Yeah. Like I said, it was just something that never got brought up. We never even ventured into that realm of talk, and we weren't. It's not that we were avoiding it. We didn't deliberately avoid any topic. It's just we didn't venture into that spectrum.
Yeah, because like when does the connection between National Socialism and Satanism actually begin? It's around the 70s, right?
No, there doesn't have to be a connection.
No, but when does that connection actually begin? Because Rockwell was during the 50s and 60s.
And
Rockwell was an agnostic atheist, though. It has nothing to do with Satanism. I didn't even say it did. But David Lane had nothing to do with Satanism either, though. He believed in Norse mythology.
No, I'm asking when that connection actually started.
I would say it was with Anton LaVey and James Madall. That's what I would say.
Yeah, because it did become more Satanism started off because like once you get to Satanism in the late 80s, and do you remember the Satanic Panic of the late 80s?
I think everyone knows.
What's that?
I thought it was your cat.
It wasn't my cat.
No, it's probably my cat.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
I was wrong
yeah,
about
because
that
like
cat.
people forget people were actually killed by Satanists during I would say the peak of Satanism.
No, they were killed by Christians.
Killed by
Satanists. It's been proven that no Satanists ever had any part of that.
From what I got from the news, it said it was some of the killings were done in the name of Satan because they were satanic in their rituals.
They would take any little book, and just because they would take it where Anton LaVey's Satanic Bible might have been found in a suspect's house, that suddenly it turned it into a satanic killing. I need the power cable.
For example, do you know who the BTK killer is?
Yeah,
bind, torture, kill.
Yeah, but he had nothing satanic about him.
Actually, he did. He actually said he was inspired by the same demon who inspired Jack the Ripper. That's
not BTK. That was Son of Sam.
Son of Sam?
Son of Sam.
No, he
said that the devil was
talking
through a dog at him.
So somebody's cat is meowing. No, even the BTK killer. Also,
the BTK killer was a Christian. You know that, right? He went to a Christian church.
Yes, he went to a Christian church. He was even a priest there. But he said he was inspired by the same demon that inspired the Jack the Ripper serial killer.
Okay, but what is your point? If you look at Christians killing witches all throughout the medieval time period.
Yeah, I'm not going to defend the Christians, but I'm saying during the time.
Just because someone says they're a Satanist doesn't mean they're a Satanist.
Yeah, but it's still look.
All right, Mr. Lucifer, we almost ready to wrap things up.
Yeah, my phone is fine. I got 15%, and I was trying to charge it, and it's just bleeping at me constantly.
Well, I was trying to get at some of these kings are made in the.
All right, you guys want to plug your channels or where to find you, all that?
All right, well, you can find me on YouTube and on Rumble. You can also find me on the Satanic Thulian Society main page. Visit us at satanicthuliansociety.com as well. On YouTube, you can find me as Lucifer LeGivorden and the Satanic Thulian Society. And on Rumble, you can just type in LeGivorden and find me there. I would say go out and buy my book. And go out and buy my book, which is the Satanic Testament. I also have numerous other books, which would be the Black Grimoire, the Red Grimoire, and we also produce the Cloven Hoof magazine. We brought that back from after Church of Satan stopped publishing it, and I got the latest, well, not latest issue, but our Christmas issue right here, which is a very naughty issue. Do I dare show? Nope.
Oh, you
So-
said a lot of times. Sorry, I got a little attracted to that. I'm sorry.
No, I can't. I need to see your ID cards before I show you the inside of that issue.
Yeah, luckily I do
you
have an
can
ID
find
card.
us on all these different platforms.
Did you do the art for that book?
No, I did not. I did the cover art.
Oh,
I
that's
designed it, but no, the cover art for when I say I did the cover art, I did not draw this image. This is by Irene Horrors. I did the outer design and I did the font work. So, but you can find Irene Horrors on DeviantArt, and she is a very wonderful artist who does all sorts of really good artwork. And she has done artwork that has been featured in now 2 Christmas issues of ours.
Is that like a Krampus book? Or
No, that's the Cloven Hoof.
All right,
Cloven Hoof
so
Oh,
magazine.
Mondays and Fridays, 7 p.m. Central is usually whenever I do things on here, and usually Mr. Lucifer connect unless he's got something going on. About you, Mr. Black
Saturdays
Mauler
is
and
when I got
Darth
something
and Hale,
going.
what you guys got for us? Anything you want to plug?
All right, I'll go first. You usually find me on Facebook. I rarely use it. Same thing with Twitter and YouTube. Well, I don't really do YouTube that much. I also have Instagram, but I don't use it a lot. So you might find me there as well on those social media platforms.
All right, Mr. Darth, Mr. Hale.
Leave me alone. Don't bother me.
Okay. Pineapple up your bum.
I have a channel, but I don't like dealing with people.
Mr. Hale, you got something you want to plug? Facebook channel or something?
No, I've been kicked off Facebook and everything, so you can't find me because I've been kicked off all social media because of my Nazi political views.
Oh, gotcha.
Do some Rumble. Yeah.
Yeah, go to Rumble. All right, Brett, I'm going to go ahead and plug my book with the commercial, and then if you want to go ahead and wrap it up, go ahead.
Yeah, throw out the outro.
For over a decade, the Satanic Testament has garnered praise and hatred from the satanic community. It has been heralded as being written with class and style, and carrying on the legacy first established by Anton LaVey by its fans, and reviled by COS and TST critics for its no-holds-barred approach. LeGivorden doesn't just strike the hammer to the anvil, he shatters it completely, and levels the complete force of the black flame to blast wide the adamantine gates like never before. Take a look into the world of Satanism's lesser understood and spoken about topics. Was Anton LaVey really an atheist? Is there actual sex rights in Satanism? What is the actual satanic political view? Do Satanists actually support abortion? What is the Lex Satanicus? This and so much more are within these pages. Now let LeGivorden, along with a few surprising guest authors, take you on a guided tour of the infernal world of Satanism.